Hi, can you hear me? I think I had myself muted. Um, so let me know if you can hear me. I'm seeing Sean's guess of is it FIFA, pinball, or some other July 1st set? It is not a July 1st set. It is a Lego Idea set. So it was one that somebody designed, a fan designer designed, and then it got 10,000 votes and was approved and then became a real set. So now we can hear you. Yay, good stuff. Awesome. Yeah, any other guesses of what the set might be? So again, it's Lego Ideas for sure. Move this down. There we go. It's a Lego Ideas set for sure. Let me move that up because it just showed the set. Also, this guessing game doesn't matter. I just was curious. And it's not the Darth Vader set that's listed in the chat or in the little scrolling thing. That was the one from last week, and I forgot to update it. So let me update that real quick. Let's see. Is it the STEM challenge one, the only one you can think of? It is not, but I did do that on a live stream before as well. Let's see. How do I see the whole thing? Any other guesses? Oh, here we go. Here's the whole thing. All right. So now building Lego Ideas. Curious if that automatically updates. There we go. Okay, now building Lego Ideas. It has an interesting number of pieces. 1,111 pieces. It has no minifigures. It's much older than the ones that you're guessing. So it is not a new release set. And it's one that we requested a while ago, and I haven't gotten around to. So I was like, oh, I need to finally get to this one for sure. So 67670. Oh, welcome back, my friend. Yes, all the 6 7s. So, no minifigures, an 18 plus set, 1,111 pieces. It is set number. Let me update this on the screen. Stratocaster. No, but it's good. Yes, you just saw it. You probably did. It is the Insects Collection. Yay! Woo, woo, woo. Okay, so it's set number 21342, the Insect Collection. All right, so that is what we are doing today. I will show you now. It's this beauty. Y'all, this set, I remember when it first came out, I was really excited about it. I thought it looked beautiful, and thought it would be a great addition, especially with a lot of the botanical sets that we have. And so wanted to dive into it. And I requested it for Philip and I to build together. And so I've been waiting for a time when he would be able to join me. But it's just been too hard to find the time. And so finally decided, you know what, we're just going to dive into it today, so that I can also knock it off the list of sets that are remaining in the requested sets that I have. So hopefully it's one that you're excited about. It's been on sale recently. Oh, really? Loved someone had put them up on the wall in a classic end set, flat like museums do. That's cool. That is actually a really fun idea. I had done that with a little tiny, tiny little bug character that I did once for my daily build challenge when I was doing that in 2023. And I'll have to track that one down, but I love that idea of doing those as like as if they're on display in a museum, which is also fun because within Animal Crossing, although they don't do it that way in Animal Crossing, they're still alive in Animal Crossing. But I do like that you get to see them there. So let me pull up the other camera. Let's see if I do this. All right, so I need to make sure that this knows the other camera is on. Give me just a moment for that. Let's see, it's plugged in. It's not registering yet, so let me adjust that. think I need to open this whole thing. There we go. Select the camera. I want this one. Okay, it looks like it's powering on, so hopefully that'll pop up soon. Boom, come on. Come on. Okay, I might need to tell it which one to do, so give me just a second. Let's see. Is it this one? No. Okay, yeah, I think it's this one, and I'm going to edit that. Sorry, I thought this was already set up. Okay, it says that it should be on. Give me just a second to fix this real quick. How's everybody doing? Anything fun going on in your world? All right, let's do this again. Select it again. Come on. There we go. Got it. Okay. So I'll be building here with y'all. And I'm actually going to make this other camera a little bit smaller, I think. No, I'll just leave it. It's fine. Yeah. Okay. Well, no, here we go. Yeah. I was missing the arrows for it. So I'll make that just a little bit smaller so that I can see a little bit more of, or so that y'all can see a little bit more of what's going on over here. Come on. Now I want to make it bigger. There we go. Okay, let's dive in. So yeah, have any of you built this one? This is one that I was super excited about. Also, can you let me know if you're hearing any music? I tried to add background music for us so that there's a little bit of extra noise. And I, A, want to know if it's working, and B, want to know if it's too loud. Because I want to make sure it's not overpowering and just annoying for y'all. It is actually pretty loud for me, but I thought I turned it down for y'all. All right, so what's fun with sets that I get from Lego? No music. Oh, interesting. Okay, let's see. That is odd. It should be playing it in the background. I know that this is not why y'all joined, but I still want to get this set up the way that it should. Let's see. Let me know if you hear it come on at any point. If you don't mind, that would be helpful. Okay. I just switched it to, I think, play. So let me know if you're hearing it. And if you are, let me know if the sound is too loud, because I definitely don't want it to be too loud for y'all. The other thing I considered with music this week was doing something that, let's see, where is it? Playing the playlist that Lego had created for this. So they actually have a playlist of sounds that they worked with someone to design these sounds that are the sounds of using Lego boxes and Lego parts to create all of the different sounds that would sound a little bit like the different animals or the different insects, which is kind of fun. So I turned them on. If you can't hear them, totally fine, but just let me know either way, just so that I'm aware if I need to keep troubleshooting and figuring this out for future ones. For today, I won't worry about trying to get it on again if it's not on for y'all. But it is playing in my ears, so that's another, I wonder if it's like you don't hear it because it's in my headphones. And I don't need to hear it for sure. also been a while since I built a set that had all plastic bags, so this is fun again. Hi, Hector! Welcome. We are building a surprise Lego set, which now you can see on the screen what it is. So the mystery is revealed, but building an older Lego Ideas set that has been sitting in our backlog for far too long, and that I wanted to get to today. So, working on the insects collection. So this set is one that, again, I really thought it was beautiful and was excited about getting a chance to build it eventually. I thought that it was a great design for a Lego Idea set and just an interesting concept. And so I was excited to add this to our collection and had requested to get it for early access review a while ago. So I'm glad that it's finally here. Or not finally here. I'm glad that I'm finally getting around to it. Okay, so when you were saying, Sean, that someone had done it where they had them on display just like flat, I guess that'd be kind of like this, which I love that each of these different books show it that way. So I'm starting with bag one, and I think bag one is going to do, let me glance through and see. Oh, interesting. This is so bizarre. I have never seen something like this. This is the first instruction book, and it has all the different pictures and has the code here to scan for the instructions and stuff. But when you open it up, it's the information about the set. So about the fan designer, as well as the Lego designers behind it. And that's it. And it also has the little page about like how to use a brick separator. It shows the final build with all of the different creatures together, and that's it. That is so bizarre and feels like a waste to me. I'm not sure why they didn't just include that in a specific book. However, these aren't listed as instruction book 1, 2, and 3, which is interesting too. So maybe it's just meant to like say build whatever order you want to build them in. Looks like this would be bags 3, 4, and 5. The butterfly is going to be bags 1 and 2. So that's what we're going to dive into because I already opened bag 1. And then the last one is bag 6 and 7 for the praying mantis. So I'll start with the butterfly because I already opened the bag for it. But then after we're done with that, you can decide if you want me to do the butterfly or the praying mantis next. So posted in the Discord on the display someone made. Cool, thank you. As for what I've been up to, I've been ideating an amusement park ride. Cool, for your next mechanical challenge. Nice, and a new niece was born. Congratulations, how fun. That's really fun. Thanks for answering the question of the day. Or not the question of the day, but yeah, just sharing a little bit about what's going on in your world. So things here are good. Philip and I are starting to plan out some trips that we have, which is exciting. And we said tonight we would figure out the details for Montreal and for Brick Slopes. So I'm so excited that I can finally say I am going to Brick Slopes again this year. I love that convention. I've had such a wonderful time there. They've always been kind and inclusive and fun. And so many AFOLs from all over. It's just really, really nice. Plus, it gives me a chance to go back to the mountains, which I love so much. And so, yeah, really, really looking forward to that. And it's been a long time coming to get to the place of being able to decide for sure that we are able to go. So, or that, at least that I'm able to go. I'm not sure yet if Philip will be able to join me for that one. We're trying to decide if he's going to join me for that and or for Montreal, or for neither, but I'd like him to go for at least one of the two. And since he's never been to Montreal, that one's kind of like high on his list for sure. So we'll see what happens, for sure. And I know I asked already, but if someone can just let me know if you hear any music now that I adjusted the settings, that would be super helpful to know. I don't know how to work this OBS thing. Still trying to figure out the details there. So, also, I know that a number of you are in my monthly build challenge and have been participating in that, and I have been a little bit more delayed this month getting ready for the July prompt. So I plan to get that ready after the live stream today and share that so that you can get going on your builds. I'm gonna make it the end of the month as well, in part because we've got Brick Rodeo towards the end of the month, and so it's gonna be a busy month kind of getting ready for all of those things. So still hear nothing. Your mic is good for not picking it up though. Okay, well that's good to know. I am going to turn it off on my end then because I hear it and I don't want to hear it. So let's just pause the music, and then it's funny too because this other one that's the playlist that Lego put together for the insects collection sounds like bugs. And so after I turned off the music, I was still hearing the bug sound, and I was like, oh, what is that? Oh, right, it's that playlist they put together. So I wonder how many people actually listened to it. I loved when Lego was putting those together regularly for the art sets. And I hope they continue to do so because I think there's so much that you can learn from those, which is a lot of fun. I do think in that line they're going to continue to, or they have so far, but not exactly sure if that'll continue beyond that. So, um, so yeah, did everyone have a wonderful end of Pride Month? I loved seeing all of the builds for Pride habitats, and it was really encouraging and positive to see and to have my feet filled with love. I'm really grateful for our friends Simon and Dan and for them supporting it as well. Hello, Mayo. Welcome. Good morning. You listened for all the art, right? They're really good. Because I have gotten some of those sets for review, they haven't had those playlists available for us to listen to yet, usually when we get them early. And it's always disappointing because the ones that I've done where I actually build it while I listen to it are so much fun. And so I haven't had a chance yet to go back and listen to the Monet set, and there's another one I think too that I didn't get a chance to listen to. I'm hopeful that by the time I get around to building out, whoops, I'm hopeful that by the time I get around to building the Van Gogh Starry Night set, that one is still available, but we'll see. Um, so yeah, curious as well. So like I said, first off, has anyone else built this set? And if so, what were your thoughts on it? And then are there other Lego Ideas sets that you're really excited about? Lego Ideas is probably my favorite theme from Lego. I think they do such a good job getting a wide range of really interesting builds from that. And it's fun to me that it's a way to be inclusive of the fan community, engaging them and actually creating and driving some of the designs that the Lego group puts together. So it's definitely my favorite theme for those reasons. There are some actually, I'm trying to think if there's any Lego Ideas set where I haven't been all that excited about it, but I don't know that that's true. I feel like all of them I've been excited for one reason or another. To me, too, it's just a great way for them to connect with Lego builders, and get them excited about the builds, too, and get them engaged and involved, and also reward their creativity for those who actually get to make it all the way to past the fan vote into actual product. I just want to say how grateful I am for the Lego community that we have here and for y'all who join regularly with my live streams and are so supportive and kind. We need more kindness and we need more wonderful people in the world. And it just means the most that you show up for each other, that you support each other. That's one of the things I truly value and try to encourage within our Build Challenge community. Is for people to connect, to form relationships and friendships, and to support each other. So thank you for embodying that and doing that as well. Um, so it looks like the first bag for all of these is going to be the base of the insect. So I'm guessing if I wanted to do something that was more like the flat lay style, like you would have in a museum, you wouldn't have to build the bases, which would be fun and would give you all these parts back. I'm kind of digging that idea, so I'm excited to see what that person did with theirs and maybe borrow that idea and have that in our house that way too. We'll have to see once I get to getting these finished. So, but I do like having the full build experience. So it's nice to get to build the bases as well, even if I'm not going to use them. So let's see. All Pride builds were great. And next year I might join the Habitat Challenge. Yay! I've seen so many good ones over the last few days. That's awesome to hear. Brothers Bricks did a wonderful recap wrap-up post where they shared a handful of ones that they really liked. And I love to see others support the great work that happens there too. Pride Habitats, I think, tends to get fewer participants than some of the other habitat challenges, but those who participate do it and do it so well. And so I'm always grateful to see new people join in the fun. So yes, I highly recommend you do. Even if you build just one, I think it's a lot of fun. But also it's a great way to get inspired, and a great way to practice kind of some of that like small scale building techniques and building details and such. I really love habitats for that purpose in and of itself. So and that's also partly why I was excited to have us do a habitat challenge as our February one, which, of course, I mean, the main impetus there was I was hosting the Valentine's challenge, so it was a little bit easier to manage hosting one challenge instead of two at the same time. Although the tracking of who participated in both challenges and making sure that everybody was recognized for their participation in both that wanted to be doing the Build with BJB one too, made it a little bit more complicated than I wanted it to. So it made me think maybe next year I'll do something a little bit different. So I don't know. I do still plan to continue to host these other challenges that I've hosted beyond my own. So yeah, we'll see what happens when we get to it. But maybe it just becomes that during those months we encourage people to participate in those, but it's not that they have to use the Build with BJB tag or something. I just like to be able to look and see, like throughout the year, how many people built every single month. Um, so yeah, the builds for our build challenge this month too were a lot of fun. You looking for Penny? I don't see her. Is she not on the couch? Huh. Usually she's right there. Maybe she's in the bedroom. Our Penny girl has a new Santa's looking over you. I know, it's kind of freaking me out. He sees you when you're sleeping. He sees you when you're building, I guess would be true in this case. Yeah, I love that we have that built, but he's too big to go anywhere else. I don't really have a space for him, and I don't want him to be in direct sunlight. So this room, I have a window right there that does get some sunlight, but I have these blinds on him that are light filtering blinds. And I keep it that way because it gets really hot in this room. But then also, I've got a lot of builds with white bricks in here, so I don't want them to get direct sunlight to avoid them getting damaged in any way. And yeah, because of that, though, there's not really a good way for me to keep him out of the frame. So, but yeah, I do like that. I do like my little joke there of he sees you when you're building. I think I'm going to have to use that for Christmas in July. I just go with the hashtag. If you hashtag the build with BJB, it's a BJB one. LOL, at least for your raffle tracking. Right. That's where I was like, I want to reward people who are in this and participating in this in part because they saw this. And that's where like some people who were building for the Habitat Challenge started to add that hashtag. And I'm fine with that. But also a number of those people haven't continued to build with us. And so I don't know that that actually helped reach more people to participate, which is fine. You know, we don't need every single person building in every single challenge, of course. But I wanted people who are using the hashtag to know what that actually meant and what it was for. And I think that just was a little confusing to people. So I agree, though, in terms of like my own tracking, I just like to know like who's been with us this whole time and participating and I think because it was the first one, I felt extra concerned to make sure that it was set up right. Hi, Brian. Welcome. Excited for the announced Edward Scissorhands set. Oh, I haven't seen it yet. Power Rangers and X-Files on Lego Ideas. Yay, can't wait to see how they look. When did the announcement come through? I have not seen anything about this yet. I have not actually been on the Lego Ambassador Network to see any official announcements that we've had come through today. Um, I think the last ones that I saw from there were the fun ones for our dear friend Olivia Rodrigo, which I'm excited for those sets. I think those will be fun. I love that they're using so much of that new purple in it. So even from a parts pack standpoint, I think it's great, but I'm really a big fan of the minifigs that came with it. I think they did a good job designing them. And I've seen some criticism that people thought it should be mini dolls. And I don't know how I feel about it because I like both. It'd be fun to get a mini doll and a minifig for Olivia Rodrigo. So maybe it'd be fun if one of the sets had that, I guess. Um, but some themes they've done exclusively, actually, most themes they've done exclusively one or the other. So it doesn't surprise me that they just chose one to go with. And I wonder, like, was Olivia involved in that decision? I don't know. So, um, if I were a celebrity and they asked me if I wanted a mini doll or a minifig for mine, I think I'd say minifig just because I grew up with minifigs, but I would be honored either way because they're so cool. So. Welcome to everybody who's joined. How's your Wednesday so far? Thanks, Mayo. I hope you're having a good week too. We have been having so much fun. Um, let's see. We've been having so much fun watching the World Cup games. Um, and I think I mentioned that Philip had done some really cool work behind the scenes with that. And so it was really fun for him to see that Tips and Bricks did a feature on World Cup builds and included his build in that, which was so sweet and so neat for him to experience. I just was excited that he was getting recognized for his hard work because he put a ton of work into that, and the people that he works with and the people at Fox who've been working on this project with him were really excited about it too. So um, I don't have a strong enough chin to be a mini doll, honestly. Same. That's a good point. That's really funny. Not announced, but I want to see what they do with that Old Man in the Sea and with the original La Katrina Day of the Dead. Yes, I'm very, very excited about both of those. I think those are both going to be stunning builds. The La Katrina one was the one that I think I was rooting for the most of the ones that were being reviewed that cycle, and was thrilled to see that it got picked. I think it has so much cultural relevance for so many people around the globe, and is just a stunning build from the original designer, although it's quite large. So I'm curious on how they're going to scale it down because I just can't imagine that they will have the set in the actual size that the builder did. Kind of similar to like when they did the London telephone box. They had to scale it down because the scale that the person did, the windows for all of the different window panes around it were the size of regular minifigure doors. So it was like 3 feet tall. And I think this marionette style Dia de Muertos build was also larger scale to be like a larger marionette style size. Um, so yeah, it'll be really, really neat to see what they do with it. Um, y'all, speaking of marionettes, Philip and I watched the super fun and ridiculous La Culturista Culture Awards that were filmed in June. We watched it last night, and it's so silly and so fun. I love both Bowen Yang and Matt Rogers. They're both fantastic. Silly, silly people who are doing such great things in the world, and it was just too much fun. So if you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend you watch it. There was a great moment where they had marionettes of cats that were in there. I won't spoil much more than that, other than you need to watch it. It was really super silly. And they're just so fun. And everyone they had as like guests on it and as the people who deliver the awards, I can't remember, presenters, I guess, all did a fantastic job. And it's designed to intentionally be very, very silly and over the top. So nicely done, y'all. I would love to be a seat filler at that event. I can't find my chin. Where did it go? I'm missing it. Yeah. It is funny. I've never really thought that about mini dolls, but you're right. They do have like really strong jawbones and very defined chins. That's great. I there was one mini doll that is like gives like lumberjack vibes. It's one of the parents of one of the mini doll or one of the friends' kids, um, or teenager characters, and I just think he's so fun. And there's also a similar version of it in Duplo, and I want to have all of them just to have like this collection of like lumberjack like ones. That award show was hilarious, right? It was so fun. X-Files was approved by Lego Ideas in last June. Power Rangers was approved last October. Edward Scissorhands was approved this April. Thank you. What I didn't know was if you'd seen like anything else about them that was official, because I haven't seen anything else yet, but I'm so excited to see kind of what comes from all of those. I thought you were saying that like there were official pictures already coming out from it, so but that's cool. Do mini dolls have beards? They do. Some of them do, and it's not the like attach on beard that like we have with minifigs. Sometimes it's the printed on like with minifigs most of the time, right? So last I heard on rumors, next two to come out are E.T. and Katrina for the fall because Halloween Day of the Dead tie-ins. At least for me, E.T. is Halloween coded. E.T. is Halloween coded for me as well. It's also Philip's favorite movie by his favorite director. Actually, it may not be his favorite movie, but it's like probably in his top five. I think his favorite movie is Jurassic Park, which is also mine. Um, we both have such nostalgic experiences with that movie. But yeah, the Dia de Muertos, that one will be gorgeous whenever we get it revealed officially. And yeah, I cannot wait to see what they do with it. And with the ET one, I actually think it could stay pretty similar to what the original one was. Sorry, I meant as separate parts. Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't seen them as separate parts with mini dolls. I've only seen them just the printed on. But not the like attached. And I don't think those attachments work with mini dolls. Whereas they do with minifigs. So, good question though. Yeah, I've gotten more mini dolls over the years, mostly because of buying friend sets and then getting some of the Disney princess ones. Um, and actually, of course, Wicked and Wednesday, I guess, would be other ways that I've gotten ones that I love. I think those are fantastic as mini dolls and perfect IPs for that. So. That'd be awesome. We definitely need more Halloween centric sets. Agreed, agreed. Yeah, I'm curious as to when ET will officially come out. La Katrina, I think it would be a huge miss if they didn't do it in the fall. And I would think that it would come out like August, September timeframe. So I would assume that that'll be one that we'd see eventually, or like around then, just because Dia de Muertos is in November. So we'll see. But yeah, both are highly anticipated sets in our house for sure. Um, Brian, are you all set for Brick Rodeo? Any fun things that you're still, or any things you're still working on that you have to finish and wrap up? Excited for sure. We're looking forward to it. It's always a great time. I think all of my builds are done. The only build that wouldn't be done is I registered, instead of registering each of my individual builds for my build challenge, I registered them as build challenge builds. And I think I wrote from the last 6 months. And so, haha, no, I love that. Totally fair. And it would kind of surprise me if you were completely done with everything and already. So. But anyway, I listed my build challenge builds as one collection of builds. And so if I do the July one before Brick Rodeo, I'll bring that as well. But if I don't, then I won't. And that's probably more likely going to be happening that way. I can tell you with the review sets that I'm getting for July, I think I'm going to have my hands pretty busy with a lot of stuff. So I I don't know that I'll fully get around to it by then, but we'll see. But I'm excited to get to display the ones from this year because it's been so fun to build along with many of y'all, and I've really enjoyed. Um, this is not meant to be a pat on my own back, but I have really enjoyed the prompts and like how I've kind of challenged myself to do more I think like bigger than what I had done before since it's monthly instead of weekly. I feel like I just put a little bit more intention into it. Um, so yeah, I'm excited. I was looking at my Toy Story build um, yesterday and was thinking, oh, I need to register that. And I was like, wait, no, I actually already did. And also it's too late. So, um, let's see. I need to light about half of my micro Houston buildings. Sean, you have to see Brian's incredible micro scale Houston. It is enormous and it is to scale, if I'm not mistaken, right, Brian? And takes up at least an entire table length, if not two, probably two at this point. And so beautifully done, and always has incredible lighting as well. So I'm excited to see the new builds that you're adding to it, from what I haven't seen before, but it's also just so much fun to see the whole thing all together. So, yeah, agree with you, Mayo, that Lego looks so good at conventions, and Brian has a knack for doing it super well. So definitely check out his stuff. Brian, do you have much on Instagram with your stuff posted? I feel like you don't post as often on there, but I could be wrong. Um, I'm sitting here working on my electrical connectors. Nice. Someday I feel like I need to take a workshop with you and learn from you about how you do it all because it's so well done. The lighting is always just spot on. Okay, y'all, I just want to show this real quick. This angle goes straight up, right? And then this is angled at that interesting little spot. Let me see if I can remove it again. The way they did that is so smart. So they have these uh what would you call this? It's not the axle, but it's the part that the axle goes into. I can't remember the name of this, but they have these ones that are at that slight angle, and you can see they use the sides of this to kind of hide it or mask it a little bit. But then on here, underneath, we have those little uh, plates that have a rod sticking out of the edge, and those rods slide right in here, and it goes in then at this angle. So it creates that perfect angle to have the little bug on. That is so cool. I love that. Good job, Lego. Good job. I always tell them good job during my live streams, and they never respond. Like, they have no clue what I'm saying. Um, but yeah, that's really cool. So, all right. So, and then we attach some of these little doodads. Let's see. This is going to go down there. Okay. Yeah, they actually made really good use. This also connects using one of those little studs with a bar sticking out of it. I said rod, but I meant bar. And you can slightly angle it if you loosen it up to go up or down, but that's a nice way to do that attachment. Um, and then also, of course, with the little angle piece here, we're going to have a little floral blossom popping out that way too. So yeah. All right, that's going to wrap up bag one. Once we get this on. So here we are so far. It's the base. Looks pretty good. I think all of them are octagonal, so I believe they're all going to be the same shape. Yeah, let's set that on the side. Let's see. Um, I used Light My Bricks for Chicago. It was relatively easy, but had to pry up plates a bit since it was tight spacing. I've used Light My Bricks. I've used Lay Light Go. I've used Light Tailing. I think in all cases with those three, I've used them for modular buildings or Lego sets like the Infinity Gauntlet or others that they designed that kit specifically for those sets. And then all the ones that I've used where it's lighting, like in our winter village and other builds where I just include lighting in a mock, I've bought from various different companies, and I couldn't even tell you which ones. But they've all worked differently, some better than others. And so I would love to know a little bit more about which ones make the most sense for mocking in terms of ease of use as well as longevity, especially when you move them around. Because if you're lighting something and then you move it across town or in a suitcase or something for a convention, you definitely don't want it to fall apart for sure. So let's see. I'm going to switch to this camera for a second. Hi, I can see myself a little bit better now. Let's see. Um, Sean, you're saying, is this the one that was at the airport? I'm seeing one pic on a Reddit post. Are you talking about the Houston build? And then Mayo says, yeah, Saturday night at Brick World, Chicago is epic. The Houston Brick Club built one, which I actually helped with when I lived out there, and that one was at the airport for a while. Nice, yeah. So I've seen Brian's builds in Houston and Austin, but always at Brick Rodeo. I don't think I've ever seen them when they've been at a specific place. And if I remember correctly, you have them on display somewhere right now. So are you taking that whole display to Brick Rural or Brick Rodeo and then putting it back there again? Or um, yeah, curious on what's going on there. All right, let's move on to bag two. Yeah, even in this view, Santa's like staring at me. um, so, I with the review sets that I get, so the ones that I get where it's just offered for early access, we have a window of time that they want us to do them, and if we're a little bit past that, that's okay. But then with the ones that we request, we have to be a little bit more strict on when our timing is and making sure that we fulfill them in that amount of time. Otherwise, they don't let you do future requests until you're all caught up. And this is one that I needed to finish to catch up, and I have one more to do that I'm going to do in a different way in July. But I wanted to make sure that it was finished because I needed to submit the one for the awards for those who participated in the build challenge. And that all comes through that same type of process. So I like to and prefer to use those requests for rewards more than just for us to build something every time. So yeah, excited that I just got that submitted. It's going to take some time. So if any of you on the stream were awarded one of the prizes through the random drawing, it's not going to be right away because there are like 150-ish ambassadors who can all submit these, and we all wait until the last minute to do it. I intentionally waited till the last minute because I was waiting to get all the information from those who won to be able to pass on to Lego. So it wasn't that I was dragging my feet on it so much as it was that's how I timed it with our build challenge. So hi, Click and Cliff. Welcome. We are building, as you can see in the little yellow stream, the Insects Collection, which is a super fun LEGO Ideas set from a long time ago that is still on store shelves, but that has been sitting in our backlog for far too long. So decided to go back in time with this build today on the live stream. So, but how are you today? Oops, I dropped a piece. Oh no! I don't know if you heard that, but I just knocked over some boxes. Where is that piece? Let's see. I dropped the very first piece that you need. Oh, here it is. Bounced over here. All right, here we go. Let's see. All my lighting is custom, though. I've never really used any of the Light My Brick stuff. Houston Brick Club micro model is 8 studs per city block. Yours is 16 studs per city block. That is so fun. And yeah, major shout out to Brian, who does really incredible work with the microscale stuff. I think you should teach classes on microscale for sure. All right, this bag comes with some of the printed elements. So I mentioned in the hints about what the set was when I was letting you all guess which one it is, that there were 5 printed parts in this set. Here is one of them. So it's this egg that has the little like bee lines on it, which is fun. There's one of those in this set. Then we have these really beautiful ones that are printed on the like curved corner type tile piece. And I'm not sure how many there are in here. There's at least 4, but there might be 6 or 8. But those are in this bag. There are 3 other printed parts in this build. And only one of them has gone on to be in other sets, I believe. 1 or 2. When I get to seeing them all again, I'll let you know. But not both of those 2 parts are still exclusive to the set, which is super fun. So, actually, no, 2 of them have gone on to be in other sets for sure. So. Nice. Yeah. I figured on today's stream that there'd be people who had already built this one for sure. Yeah, it's such a beautiful one. And it's one that we requested. Philip and I always go and look together at the request, or often I'll look with him at the requests together because I want it to be builds that he's interested in too, since we build together quite a bit. And so this is one that we both picked. And earlier this week, I was like, hey, since we can't ever find time to do this one, I'm just going to build it during my live stream. So sorry. And he was fine with that, of course. He knows that this is, for me, it's a little bit different than it is for him. So, but when he can do some of these with me, it's always fun to get to share the experiences together. So let's see. Never heard of the Houston Brick Club, but I do now know there's lots of lugs in Texas. There are. So, hi, Missy. Welcome. So we have Tex Lug, which is kind of statewide. Hello, Bev. Welcome both. We're building the insects. Um, so yeah, statewide we have TexLug, and TexLug kind of has different chapters, if you will. So Houston Brick Club is more or less a chapter of TexLug. TexLug Austin is a chapter. TexLug San Antonio. There's also DFW Lug. So technically, they're all different lugs across Texas, but we do kind of see it as like we're all in this together, just like the High School Musical song, to go with a very silly reference for y'all. Um, and yeah, the folks over at Houston Brick Club are wonderful and good friends of ours. We really enjoy the community that we have down there, and back when I used to co-chair Brick Rodeo, we would bounce between Austin and Houston. And so every other year it was co-chaired by folks in Houston, and then I would help out and support as a volunteer. Um, and so I got to know a bunch of the Houston Brick Club folks that way as well. So, oh, there's a third printed part in this set. So here's the other one. And this is one. It's a round, let me see if I can hold that differently. There we go. It is a round tile with a printed white dot on it. Come on, focus. There we go. Which we have now seen in many sets for eyeballs. So Houston is so big that they even have essentially a subchapter in Angleton. That is so cool, and doesn't surprise me. Yeah, we've got our chapter of TexLug here in Austin, but also we have folks now in a little bit further north who are wanting to create one, I think. And then we have a member who was also working to maybe get one created in Bryan College Station, which is like pretty far out there from Austin. So it's neat to see that it continues to kind of grow and expand over time. There are lots of wonderful builders in Texas. Actually, that's it. That was also like super fun to me when we were in Lego Masters about how we had three teams from Texas, and we represented Houston, Austin, Dallas, and Wimberley among the three teams, and that's still a fraction of this state. It's massive. So I don't know that there's an El Paso group, but there should be, although they may actually connect more with those in New Mexico just based on distance. So yeah, I think West Texas is not really represented with lugs at this point. Um, but I could be wrong. Maybe I'm missing some information there too. So, Clicking Cliff, where are you from? Where are you located? Um, we've got folks from all over the world on this chat, which makes me so happy. We have such a good community here. And good friends from around the globe who like to join and are super friendly. Um, and I think you've joined one of these before because I feel like I remember your username, but it could be that I remember it from something else. So, not sure about that. All right, this is a pretty bloom. So it's a neat little flower build that we're doing here. That'll kind of go right here, sticking out of the side. Missy and Bev, are you done with work for the day? Or are you taking a quick break? Philip was on a call earlier, and it was fun because on that call they were doing kind of a virtual field trip over to the Cube in Times Square, so that some people who hadn't seen it yet in person could go see it. And so, he's seen it many times, but that was just really fun to get to observe on the couch beside him while they were doing the tour. And it's looking like I'm going to get to go with him to New York for his next work trip. So I'm excited about that. We're probably going to go for just a couple days. He might be gone a little bit longer than me, but really looking forward to getting a chance to see the Cube and meet the watchers at the at the Chief World Cup Watcher um, Glass Cube office in Times Square. So super fun. Austin is kind of blending into San Antonio. It is like I feel like it just keeps the stretch there kind of spreads right between here and there. So with the growth of Austin, are they now a tri-city area with Dallas and Houston almost like the New York tri-state area or the Twin Cities in Minnesota? I would say just yes and no. No, only in the sense that the amount of land between the different cities, because Texas is stupidly massive. It is a huge state that's like ridiculously big. That makes it hard for things to really blend and impact things like culture where it starts to feel similar in those different places. But yeah, all of those areas are growing and continuing to grow for sure. And I think that there's a lot of similarities and also a lot of distinct differences between them as well. So Dallas and Houston are still pretty far. Yep. So yeah, San Antonio and Austin are definitely the closest, I think, of those cities. So for context, and I don't know if this context is helpful, but driving between Austin and Dallas can take about 2.5 to 3.5 hours, depending on where you're traveling from and what traffic you hit. And driving to Houston, it's a little bit closer, but it's still around 2 hours, I would say. It depends on where in Houston. Houston is the largest of those areas, right, Brian? Would you say so? I mean, if you consider Dallas as Dallas, Fort Worth, Arlington, that is like a tri-city area. It's like a triangle of cities, and Dallas and Fort Worth are both pretty massive, and Arlington has grown quite a bit too. So maybe if you consider that whole section in the same way that I look at Houston, which is really a collection of a lot of towns and or really cities all connected, maybe that's bigger, but I don't think so. I still think Houston is larger. So I don't know for sure. Good question. Mayo, so I know that you went to Chicago. Have you been to the US on other trips as well? Depends on how you define it, right? Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. So, um, but yeah, and actually, anybody from outside the United States, have you traveled to the United States? And if so, to where? Always curious to know what people's their experiences are like in different countries. I think it's so fun. Philip and I love traveling and really love traveling internationally when possible. That's, become a huge joy of ours. It's just expensive, of course. But I love just experiencing different cultures and getting to see how people live and where they live and what that's like. And yeah, just the range of experiences around the globe are always so exciting to me. So, okay, this is a really beautiful flower. So take a look at this. So this is what we just built. It's got some interesting techniques using some of those like horn type pieces that we see for animals often. And granted, many of you probably have experience now building lots of different floral sets. So in the botanical lines, we've seen a lot of things kind of similar to that. But yeah, this one was one that was done out of the botanical line. So aside from it, but also still using similar techniques and looks really cool. Oh, wow. So Brian's saying the first time I came to Brick Rodeo in Austin from Houston, the northwest side of Houston was your halfway point between Austin and where you grew up, or where you were coming from, rather. Yeah, so my brother-in-law is from a very, very far away part of, or lived in a very far away part of southeast Austin, I believe. And so I think southeast, it might have been southwest, but regardless, pretty far south. And so when we would go to see them, when they lived there, I remember thinking, gosh, this takes forever to get to Houston. But then our friend, her family, she grew up in Humble, Texas, which was like the opposite corner of where they lived. And to get there, it was a very different experience. And so even going between those two homes was quite a trek. So yeah. Oh, interesting. Okay, I'm doing this backwards. So this is a little bee that's going to go in this build, and they're using some minifigure wings, which I don't think I've seen this specific style of minifigure wings before. I'll have to look it up and see what minifigures it's gone on. But they're using that on a little clip piece. And then that clip piece, here we go. That clip piece will clip on to a branch or whatnot. All right, and then we put on the little end, and it's super cute. Cute little bee. That is so fun. So, and I'm guessing this little clip with the little feet will be where it clips because I think this is meant to be like the mouth type side of it, but we'll see. So, only for Brick World Chicago so far and Brick Slopes in August. Yay! Wait, this August you're going? That makes me so excited. We get to meet in person. If I'm correct on reading that correctly. Yeah, I didn't know for sure. Oh yeah. So we also get here we go. That makes more sense. So we get these little antennas. Okay, this is so cute. That's really, really fun, y'all. I like this. Anyway, we just chatted and it sounds like we will be, or at least I will be going to Brick Slopes, and I'm so excited. I love Slopes so much. They've been so wonderful, so welcoming, so supportive. I remember the first year that we went, they were really pushing to get more people from Gayfels to come because they wanted to show that they were supportive and be inclusive. And we went and had a great time. And then they've had multiple, or we've gone multiple years now and just really love it. Okay, this is really fun. Look at that little bee on the flower. I like that it's flying. So the angle that it's showing in the build and the paper has it angled a little bit differently, and that's because we're using the minifigure posing piece at the end of this clear piece. But I'm just going to keep it like this. I don't think it needs to be exactly the way that it shows in the instructions. But I like that there's a bee in there because I think the original submission had a bee in it as well. All right, now we're going to build the more or less mosaic part of the butterfly, so the wings and stuff. So, yeah, I said a while ago I'll add you to my selfie gallery. Oh, that's right, on Instagram, and if you have a sig fig, we can trade. That's so fun. Oh, that's exciting. I'm excited to see you, friend. That'll be cool. Um, and then I can finally say, I know Mayo in person, too, not just on the internets. Okay, I'm going to do these here. Let's see, I want to do them so that you can see. Let me adjust this a little bit for y'all. So we'll do this right here. And I'll build them with y'all here so you can see as I'm going. And I'm going to be doing them in mirror image at the same time because I think that's fun. And we know that butterflies have mirror image. So I'll look at the instructions for one, but then kind of replicate it as I go. This is also a way that I like to do sets in general when there's repetitive parts, is to build one using the instructions and then try to see if I can do it by memory for the second one. Or in this case, if it's mirror imaged, build one and then try to do the mirror image one at the exact same time. So this is also fun to see how they use different plate shapes. So here we've got these hearts, and the heart plate shapes are going to add some interesting dimension here. So let's see. So that'll go here, like so. So we'll get this one as well. Now watch me finish it and then it'd be like, just kidding. It's not exactly the same, but I think it'll be the same. I feel like it has to be. It is a butterfly. All right. So for anyone else on the chat as well, what conventions are you getting ready for? Do you have a break from conventions now that Brick World Chicago's over? What's kind of coming up next for you? Sean, I know you said that you're working on some ideas for like an amusement park type setup. I'm excited to see that. That'll be cool. Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. Let's see. All right, then we get this here. Is that right? I think so, yeah. Oh, right. This is fun. It's really interesting shaping too. Honestly, designing a butterfly this scale is so fun. And it's neat to see this approach because the only butterflies I've built before in this type of scale are the ones that I built for Wicked, and also for the Wicked project that I worked on. And it's such a different technique. It's like totally different in terms of style and approach, and had a more simplified design because it was pretty much all yellow and light yellow, or um, bright yellow orange color. Um, so yeah, this is just an interesting thing to do where you're actually designing the pattern as well. So I think there's actually been a Lego 3-in-1 set that was butterflies as well that I did, now that I think about it. Um, but yeah, I think it'd be fun to challenge myself to build additional butterflies and see what comes from it. Okay, let's put some of these collected ones that are printed aside right now, just so I have them there. I want to say that I'd seen this print before where people ordered it off of Pick-a-Brick, and it'd be neat to see kind of what people chose to do with it. All right, there's a lot of pieces in here in that pattern. That might be it. Is that 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so that's 6. So that's all that's in this bag at least, but that doesn't mean there won't be more elsewhere. So yeah, so that goes there. How are you holding up in Texas? It's 96 and muggy when I went out to the garage in Indiana. That is just oppressive. Bev says it's 94 and feels like 110. I do believe that's true. It's been pretty miserable here in Austin. Last week, I mowed the front lawn, and I had been waiting to do it because it kept raining every morning for a couple days in a row, and you can't mow when it's raining, and so and then you can't mow when it's so stupid hot in the afternoon. So I'd been kind of delaying the progress there, which meant it kept growing bigger and bigger and bigger and taller, and thicker. And our lawnmower is a battery powered one. So it works, but it also needs to recharge. And it used up all of the power for half the yard when I finally got around to doing it in the morning. And by the time it was charged again, it was 12:30 in the afternoon. And so I went out there to do the rest of the lawn at that time and felt miserable when I came back inside. So, okay, this is really pretty. This is so cool. Okay, let's flip these over again still. So I am working on this one. This is the one with the instructions. Okay, so similar to the butterflies in the Wicked sets, this uses these hinge pieces, of course, to kind of help provide the angles and such here. So, gosh, it's the fact that it's 94 there, or 96 there, is so not fun. I'm so sorry that that's your experience too. This year has been so much worse, and I feel like, or has felt like it's so much worse. I don't know if that's actually true or if it just feels that way. But yeah, it's been hot, hot, hot. So I am glad to be inside and hopeful that people can stay inside as much as possible. It makes me really sad for those who are unhoused, and outside in the heat, because it's terrible for sure. Um, okay, so we're done with these portions of the wing so far, and then now we're moving on to the next portions. Um, and we're using these larger ones. So, free browser, let's see. Probably next week sometime, we'll post the browser extension I've been working on to save money on Pick-a-Brick. I need to fix some bugs and write some instructions. Yay! That's awesome. I'm excited to see it and get to play with it. And I love that you're doing that. And it's going to be a great service for lots of people. When Philip went to Chicago last week, he brought with him the Sig Fig from the minifig series of German footballers. for the footballer who was there visiting the Cube that day. It was Mario Götze, I think, Gotze. I'm probably mispronouncing that. Forgive me and help me out, JJ, if I am. Um, but he was there and he texted me and he said, "Hey, I think I just want to give this sig fig to him while he's here. Do we have another one?" And I was like, "We do not have another one, but also that's fine. Like, give it away. You know, he will probably really appreciate that if he doesn't already have one. He may already have one." Um, and so I went to look for a replacement because Philip still wanted to have one for sure. There was only one Bricklink seller in the United States that was selling it. No one else in the United States had it in their Bricklink store. And so the price was surprisingly not as much as I thought it would be. I thought it was going to be more, but it was $13 for that specific minifig. So I was a little disappointed because that was the only option to get it, where I wasn't going to have to pay for international shipping, which would have jacked up the price as well. Um, but while I was in the store, then I was looking at other things they had, and that Bricklink seller, they just had some higher priced approaches to things. Like their store, they price things more expensive than I want to pay. But they had some things that I wanted. So I bought a few more things from them. And then I messaged the guy and was like, "Hey, just so you know, the only reason I'm placing this order is for this one specific minifig. So if for some reason it's not in stock, I'd like to cancel the whole order." Because I don't need to be spending more on these other minifigs that I can get cheaper elsewhere if you can't supply me with the one that I needed. And the reason I messaged him was actually on his like closeout page of where you pay for your parts and stuff. There was a statement about something about their inventory that looked confusing to me, and if read one way, could have read that maybe their inventory isn't correct, and so know that that changes might be made based on it. I think what they were saying was they have more in stock, but it's not all listed on the website right now. But I still wanted to be sure. So the guy responded to me and was like, "Hey, I totally have been there before where I've ordered from a store and they ended up not having the one thing that was the reason for the order. So no worries. Want you to know that I do have that one. So, and have everything else that you ordered too. So we're going to get some new minifigs, which is fun, including a second copy of, or a new copy, replacement copy of that Mario Goats one. So I'm glad that that's going to happen. So. Y'all, this is surprising to me. This set has 1x5s. For some reason, I thought those were still newer, but I guess this was one of the early sets that had them. I don't know officially when they first came out, but that's cool. Okay, so I'm just going to go there. Also, another thing that I've been wanting to do is to play with the designs on the buildable clock that Lego made, or mosaic clock, I should say. So it's a clock that's got plates kind of around the outside of it. I've been wanting to use to do something fun with it and haven't had a chance to yet. So now that I'm doing these butterflies, it's actually making me want to do like a butterfly inspired design for it. All right, so here we get these, what I consider eyeballs, which those parts, those printed parts were in abundance in the Disney 100 Icons of Animation little mini mosaic set. And we have probably 5 copies of that set because it has such great parts. I didn't buy 5 copies all at once. It was just over time when I would see them on sale. I would get another copy here and there because they come with, first off, 10 or 12 8x8 base plates, which are perfect for minifigure habitats, but then also all of the different dots and tiles and things are in there, which is great too. So we actually just bought one for $40. It was originally, I think, sold for $100, if I'm not mistaken, but for $40 at Bricks and Minifigs. So was really excited to add another to our collection. But anyway, yeah, so we actually now have a bunch of these sets. All right, so these are not used as eyeballs here. They're used as additional dots for the design of these beautiful butterfly wings. Oh, that's so fun. Okay, this is really, really cool, y'all. I am a big fan of how this is coming together. Let's see. Okay. So let's see, what else do we have? So perhaps Austin, Dallas, and Houston could become the Tri-City area if College Station and Waco grow in population to better urbanize along those interstates. I mean, that could work for sure. And also, we need public transportation in this massive state. And unfortunately, that money to fund that gets approved through voting. And oftentimes, voters don't see the value in that and won't vote in favor of it, which is really frustrating. Because truthfully, the reason that cities like Austin have the horrific traffic we have is because we are a through city that people have to drive through when going north and south and on our interstate. And that just clusters up and congests the whole area. And so having better public transportation would relieve and alleviate a lot of that, which would help both our city and also lots of other cities nearby. So that's my little rant for the day on public transportation. So this is more save wanted list to the extension, save any buy all carts to the extension. You can load any parts from a store on a wanted list to your cart and displays pick-a-brick prices on Bricklink. That's amazing. And they will go and look at those carts and lists and pick-a-brick and find out what's the cheapest with the info you've given. That's really cool. Sean, that's so fun. And like I said, it's going to be a great service for people who buy on there all the time. So kudos, good job. Okay, so now we will flip this over like so. Okay, that means this one will flip this way. This is where it gets complicated when you're doing the, like, I want to make this work. Okay, I think that's going to go like that, which means this one will go like this with a little bit of an overhang. And then we get these round boat tiles. That are great for securing bricks together. I actually need to put some of these on the back of my Toy Story letters because they are a little fragile and need to have a little bit more support. Okay, so then we'll do these like this. Add in a couple more round bits here and there. Add in a little bit more detail to make a dark blue stripe. This is so pretty, y'all. This is really cool. And then looks like, yeah, I'm loving the gradient that's being added on here. This is really cool. All right. And then last but not least, we get these pieces. Actually, not last but not least, but next up, we get these pieces. Here. And then here. Okay. And we're getting close to being able to connect them. Actually, that is the next step. So this will connect with this, I believe. Let's see. So this will go here. This will go here. All right. So that makes one wing. Oh, that's so cool. And let's flip the other one over. And one of my favorite things when I'm doing this, as silly as it sounds, is to like fast forward through the instructions afterward. Because it's like, ha, I already did all of that. Okay, so let's angle these the same way. Okay, so now we have the two sides of the butterfly. Y'all, really, really pretty. And also, before I flip that, we're going to use some more pieces to secure. So we secure this down like so. And this down like so. Okay. So now, looks like we're going to connect them. All right, what else do we have in the chat? Let's see. 1x5 first came out in 2021 with the Titanic, the typewriter, and the UCS AT-AT. 8 sets that year. Awesome. I think this one was a 2023 set, so I clearly was wrong with that. Let's move that back a little bit. I'll just say, as a former geography major, current architecture major, bona fide hater of Texas sports teams, and friend of many Texan Lego builders, I'm fascinated with your state. I love all of that. I think it's so fun. Yeah, I would say if I wasn't living in Texas, I would have interesting opinions for sure of it. Having been in Austin now for now 16 and a half years, which is wild to me that it's been that long. There's a lot that I really do love and value about the state, but there's a lot that I still don't understand and still find very frustrating, for sure. So I think there's good and bad everywhere. And I think Austin in particular has a lot of good. I think the state in particular has a lot of bad, in my opinion, for a lot of reasons. So yeah. Okay, so here is the center part of our butterfly, and that's going to then connect the two sides. So we'll connect this one here, and then here's where we fly through all these pages. All the way to page 50. We connect this here. Oh my gosh, it's so satisfying. All right, y'all. Here is our butterfly. That is really pretty. It can kind of flap, although you want to be careful with that. You don't want to knock off any of the parts. And then this will attach using this plate that, let's see if I can get the light to hit it correctly. There we go. Maybe, no, there we go. Using that plate, that's one of those rounded plates that has holes all the way through it. And so that works perfectly well with these two uh, rods. What's the word I wanted? Basically rods that can attach it. And that actually serves as a better way to attach it than if you were just to set it on. Y'all, it is so pretty. This is really cool. Okay, let me turn off my front-facing camera. There we go. This is really, really nice. Oh, wow. The colors are beautiful. I just adore that. And the shaping is just spot on. So let me go back through to that instruction book that didn't seem to make any sense and read you a little bit about this butterfly. So first off, the fan designer designed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bugs. So these are the 6 bugs the fan designer designed. So you can see the butterfly. I love that bee. I think it's so cool. Then Lego kind of whittled it down to essentially 4 because there is that little bee here. So this says blue morpho butterfly. Curious crawlers and majestic moths. So for the butterfly in particular, indigenous to Mexico, Central America, and South America, the blue morpho butterfly is a spectacular work of art. Females are brownish in color, while the male's wings consist of millions of scales that diffract light and reflect iridescent hues of blue. So I guess this would be a male version of it. With a wingspan range from 3 to 8 inches. That is really cool. They must be enormous. It's easy to spot, and unlike many other butterflies, it flies in almost any type of weather. Oh, wow, cool. Blue morphos are not picky eaters. They enjoy tropical fruits, tree sap, and rotting flesh. Ugh, gross. In their early caterpillar stage, they may even cannibalize each other. Oh gosh, that's scary. In this model, inspired by real life, the blue morpho is accompanied by a friend, the honeybee, on their joint mission to pollinate a blooming bromeliad. That is so cool. The other two then that we have, and I'll let you vote on which one you want me to build next because I don't know if I'll get through both today. We've got the Hercules beetle, this one here. Let me move my water. And we have, well, here, let me move this. We have the Hercules beetle and we have the Chinese mantis. So you tell me which of the two you want me to build. And I am going to go refill my coffee. So, I actually was going to make a coffee break scene to be able to put up when I'm gone, but I don't have one yet. So instead, I'm going to put up this paused scene one, and I'm going to mute my AirPods while I go fill up my coffee. But I'll be right back. In the future on my live streams, I'm going to have a little coffee break scene. All right, and in the chat, if you can still hear me, write which of the two you want me to do, either the Hercules beetle or the Chinese mantis. All right, be right back. All right. Let's see. Where are we? Hello. Okay. Oh, and you know what's funny is my computer decided when I was away, because I took my AirPods out, to continue playing the sounds of the bugs from the Lego website that I was telling you about. I was like, what is that buzzing noise? All right. So we have, it is the the flowers, the wings, all of it. All of them are great designs. Blue Morpho, father of the monarch. Go Venture Brothers. Beetle is so fun. Green bug. Hmm. So, looks like I have a vote for one of each. What else do we have? The other thing the mosaic is... Oh, wait, I missed some things above, too. The other thing the mosaic is good for is it comes with a box that fits 48 by 48 base plates. I picked up a few for 30 to 50 at Goodwill online. Oh, is that the Disney 100 set one that you're talking about? So, let's see. Yay, I'm back. I'm back. I made it. Okay, I think I'm going to go with the green bug because I like to do things out of order. And I think that's the last few bags. So we'll dive into that. We'll see how far we get. And then if we get to the Hercules beetle, we'll get to the Hercules beetle. So let's do our little praying mantis friend, though. Our green mantis friend, I think is what they called it. Yeah. Actually, I was going to say, I wonder if the bag 6 is just the base. Where does bag 7 come into play? It is! Okay, you know what? I'm going to start with bag 7, and I'm going to build out our bug friend, and then I might jump to the other bug friend, because the bases I can do whenever, but that way we get through at least all the bugs today. So, all right, bag 7 starts with a little bit of leftover parts that we needed to get to for the plant, or I mean for the stand. Let's see. I mean, the stands do allow them to pose in really cool ways, but yeah, this will just be fun. Change it up. Why not? All right. So for starters, we are going to do some pieces that are for the stand. There we go. Let's see. No, the personal mosaics that come with a 48 base plate with 6 colors of round 1x1s. Oh, yes. Those are fantastic. I have bought a bunch over time and have used them for storage as well for parts. I actually didn't know it held a 48 by 48 base plate, though. That's pretty cool. So I'll have to look back into mine and see if I have any of the original boxes still. But do you use that then when going like to a convention? That's a way that you like hold everything together for the convention. Is that right? Nope, nope. That's backwards. Let's try this again. Here we go. Okay, so we're using these large pieces to make some very large leaf type pieces that'll come out of the base. So I'll have to set those aside, and that's okay. All right, so Butterfly had 3 printed parts. And then this one has one of the printed parts, I think, in it. And then the other one has the last printed part. So the printed part in here is a round eyeball type part for the praying mantis. And the printed part in the other one is a ladybug, which now we've seen in a lot of different sets. So that's no longer all that new. All right. Okay, I have another fun question for y'all. What songs are earworms for you that just get stuck in your head and you can't move on without listening to the full song? I have a million that I could say for sure, but because I set my alarm to be specific songs, I often find that whatever songs I picked as the alarm song end up being earworms for me after a while, and I find that those are the worst that get stuck in my head forever. So I've been listening to one of Taylor Swift's songs that has been annoyingly an earworm that won't go away because of that. That was my wake up call song. And then recently, I've been listening to a lot of queer artists during Pride Month. But one that I was listening to that she has a ton of earworms for me is Kesha. I love the album. I don't know if the album is called Rainbow. I don't think it is. But I love the album that has the song Rainbow on it. And it is full of earworms for me that get stuck in my head. So, and another that gets stuck in my head quite a bit is Renee Rapp, who I've been listening to quite a bit as well because it's Pride Month. She's got some that are just amazing bops. So, let's see. I tried to use one, but it got too tall with the candy canes. Gotcha. I had to use a larger box, and Papa John's extra large boxes fit 48 by 48. So you got one for free that was unused with a pizza. Nice. I love that. Did you specifically request that they send you one unused one, or was that just like a happy accident that you're like, oh my gosh, now that I have this, I now know this works? I love when you find those things. The thing that I've been using mostly for transporting mocks is when we go to like rodeo and places like where I'm carrying it anyway, is a box that we got that was for a meal prep for Thanksgiving. And I think the box says ham on it because I feel like we would have gotten turkeys. And I'm wondering if it was for Christmas. But regardless, it was a box that we got from Central Market, which is one of our local grocery stores down here. It's owned by HEB, which is an amazing grocery store that we love. Yeah, the box just slides in perfectly inside this like rectangular cover, but it has handles and it's made for you to carry around because it was made to have heavy food in it. So it's perfect for Lego in the car when we're driving somewhere. I need to get a little bit more practice with some of my builds that I'm taking with me to slopes and to uh, Montreal because those have to travel by plane. And so those will be a little bit different. And I'm a little nervous traveling by plane to Montreal because I have to take a connecting flight because there's not a direct one. And anytime there's a connecting flight, I just get nervous about, is my stuff going to make it? So for those of you who have traveled to conventions by plane, I'm sure you have experienced that same type of fear or experience. I know when we were coming back from Denmark, we always have to take multiple flights to Denmark. There's not a direct one from Austin. And we got stuck in Amsterdam and all of our luggage was away from us that night. And so we were just hopeful that it would actually board the plane. And we didn't know until we got into the States that it actually did board the plane and we were able to get everything back. But that included my Wicked mock, my For Good one, and Philip's, or no, our collaborative Wicked mock as well that we did. And we were just really nervous. So it was so nice when we got to see the things back in our hands again. Okay, so just want to show you before I put that on. Here is the base that we're getting for the main part of the body. But then this piece, which is like kind of like a leaf piece or like something that could be used in a flying vehicle, just snaps right on top and gives a perfect little silhouette for the outline of that bug. So that's pretty cool. Let's see. You picked one up at the store and specifically went to get it. That's nice. The opening song to the U of M Harry Potter musical, Underneath These Stairs. I hear the sneers and feel glares of my cousin, my uncle, and my aunt going back to Hogwarts is an earworm for Spotify. I love that. That's really fun. It's so silly to me, like which things get stuck in our heads. The Renee Rapp one and the Kesha one that both get stuck in my heads are both songs um, just like kind of like songs about hate and not worrying about it and like just moving past it. Um, and also like just are funny to me, but they're also ones that like I'm like, I don't want this in my head all the time. I don't need to be wallowing in that headspace per se. So And then basically every musical ever, I have a million earworms from musicals. So that's just going to be a truth in general for me. Um, but yeah, there's also the specific version of I Saw the Sign that was in um, what's it called? Pitch Perfect. That one is always an earworm for me as well, which is just so silly because it's like meant to be one that they're actually kind of making fun of, but that I just love. I think it's such a silly movie. It's actually one I really enjoy and haven't seen in a long time, so I need to find time to rewatch it sometime soon. So, right, I'm trying to move this around so that you can see what I'm building as I'm building it. So let me put the instructions back a little bit further. There we go. Okay. Anybody else have earworms that get stuck in your head? Another song or another question for y'all is what songs do you find empowering? Are there any songs that you put on when you need a boost? For me, there are a lot, but I have a whole playlist dedicated to that because there are plenty of times in life where I'm like, I just need a boost. But Sarah Bareilles features prominently on that, as well as Kelly Clarkson, and they are two of my all-time favorite artists. I know with the announcement about the Olivia Rodrigo sets, I had asked like if anybody has any other artists they would love to see get that Lego Editions treatment, meaning they would get their own sets and ideally minifigs or mini dolls. And it's been fun to see people's responses. JJ, I was actually happy to see yours because it was an artist that I don't know. So I'm excited to look him up a little bit more and um, just, yeah, explore some of that. So my mom went to Milan, but her luggage went to Miami. Oh no, that's a problem. That would be real rough. Did she ever get her luggage back? That's the piece with me where I'm like, you don't like, there's no way to estimate how much value is lost when you have a mock, right? It's really hard to explain to them like this is what is gone that I need replaced. So that's part of what makes me nervous about traveling, and what makes me want to bring things that can be just put in carry-on luggage, which means much smaller. So earworm, yes. What earworm gets you, Hector? What songs are ones that get stuck in your head, as well as if you want to answer the other question of what songs do you listen to for empowerment? So with Sarah, I listen to Brave. That one really riles me up in all the right ways. I listen to Armor also, which is one about female empowerment for sure, but I just find to be really helpful and fun. And then another song called If I Dare, that is from a hit movie about Billie Jean King and about pay equity and female empowerment. It's a really great movie. Y'all should watch. Empowering would be let's get loud. Yes. Okay, good stuff. Okay, earworm would be golden. Oh, of course. Or how it's done. Yeah, how it's done. Done, done. Indiana Jones theme. I love that. Isn't it funny? Like these things that are like, oh, there it is. Oh, good. She got her luggage back. Okay, that makes me very happy. It's always disappointing when you hear stories of people losing their luggage. So you want them to get all of their things back. And I always have to remind myself in situations like that, like these are just things. Life is more than things, right? But it would still be heartbreaking to lose your mock to that. Okay, I want to show you this really cool piece that I don't think I've ever seen before, and I want to look it up to see if this has been in any other sets. But this one, when I was looking up the printed parts, was listed as a blade, I think. And I'm curious if this blade piece has been used in any other set. So if anyone wants to look it up, feel free. But it's so perfect for these amazingly creepy little arms for our friend here. And like, look at that. Like, Oh my gosh. I just love that so much. That's cool. So we'll attach these here and they go. Did I do that upside down? I think I did it upside down. There we go. Is that right? I did them wrong. Give me a minute. Something is wrong here. Oh, yeah. Okay. So I think, wait a minute. What did I do wrong here? Okay, if this goes like that, then this needs to attach facing itself here. Oh, there we go. Okay. Oh no, I didn't do that wrong. Okay. Yeah. But it's just like, okay, no, I did do them wrong. I'm sorry, friends. Did I build them backwards? I think I might have built them backwards. Let me see. So this, I did. I built it backwards. Okay, that's why. Something just wasn't reading right here. So that, and you know what? I don't think I built them backwards. I think I just attached them backwards. Because I think you can twist it and it goes the right way. But let me see. So if I do this, then this needs to go like that and into here. Okay. Okay, I just installed them backwards. Sorry, friends. Thanks for bearing with me. There we go. So this one. Oh, yeah, I just rotated it weird. There we go. Okay. He's like, hi, friends. It's so creepy. So creepy. Let's see. Yep, if I ever travel, I'd try and do carry-on for a build and check my clothes, right? I checked some board games before and the box got damaged. Oh, bummer. That or ship it there to someone. Yeah, I've thought about that too. Sounds like a Home Alone 2 experience, right? A little bit. Maybe it was her first traveling out of the US. Oh, that is so sad. And then, of course, that's what happens. You're like, no, I promise this isn't how it always will be. That's disappointing for sure. I hope she was able to like roll with it and feel okay though. That's tough. That is tough. Oh, we have the bug spray people coming by. Speaking of insects, they are coming by in July. We have a mosquito problem in our backyard, and they come by occasionally to spray for them. And honestly, I don't think it does what it needs to do, but we still pay them to do it. So, there's that. Um, all right, and then we're getting these really interesting and thin legs here, which this little build is really fun. It's really interesting. Um, yeah, let's see. Okay, so I'll need to do this 4 times. Bev and Missy, are you working on any builds for Brick Rodeo that still have some progress to be made? It's been used in 13 other sets, but all dual mold colors, mainly Ninjago. Thank you for looking that up. I figured if it had been used, it was going to be in something like Ninjago because of the style of it for sure. So, yeah, good stuff. Um, I'm glad she was okay with it. No other choice. Good for her though, for rolling with the punches. Yeah, you're right. No other choice. This is how we're navigating this, and it's gonna be fine. I like that. I like that. Um, I prefer to drive with mocks because we can bring more and it's easier, right? To pack and everything. But the times that we've flown, we've had great experiences. So hopefully that will continue as we go through. So, all right. So we have those. And then now we get these interesting legs. So we're using this part not as a weapon, which makes me so happy. Let's see if it'll focus. There we go. It is unfortunately a gun. It won't focus. I'm too close. There we go. It's this little tiny gun. I like this part for lamps. I like this part for weird little leg pieces for our friend here. I don't like this part as a gun because I do not like weapons at all. But Anytime we get a clever part usage in PU, I'm all about it. So help me redefine what this is meant to be used for. Thank you very much. Have y'all been keeping up with all of the games? Anybody have a team that you're really rooting for? We are loving watching all of them and just having a blast. It's been so fun this year to go and follow along as many games as possible. And there's a cool feature, I don't know if I talked about this already, but there's a cool feature on YouTube TV that allows you to click, hi Zach, welcome. But it allows you to click to watch just highlights from the games. And that's been really fun to be able to watch and catch up on things that you missed and see the big moments without having to watch the entire game. So that way we see good parts of all of them. Okay, so here's one of the legs just to show you. Really interesting, odd shapes and such to create those really odd, spindly little legs. I like it. That's cool. All right, so let's do it again and again and again. All right, now these are going to go on. Let's see here. One will go here. And then you just like twist and tweak the directions that they're attached to make them in all different angles and things, which is so fun and so weird. I really love that though. Yeah, cool. Oh my gosh, this is so creepy. It's so good. And the head is going to be the best part of this too. So just popping in during my break to say a fast hello. Hello. Thanks for popping in. Happy July 1st. Love the shirt. Thank you. Yes, this is my Brick Rodeo shirt from 2022, I think. Getting excited about the convention coming soon. And it's actually a shirt I don't know that I've ever worn, but was going through my clothes today and thought, hey, let's pop this one on. So lots of fun to be had coming soon. And we'll get to see each other, which will be fun. So I hope that your day is going well. And I hope that the rest of your workday goes well and is smooth. Things here are good. Things here are really good. So having a lot of fun with this build. Okay, here's that other printed part I said that we got. So you can see there's a little tiny eyeball on there. Little tiny print. It's pretty cool. And those are going to face forward. And we get two of them. And they're creepy. That's so creepy. I love that. And then also, we're going to do, I think, antennas as well. And the antennas are a little bit larger because this is a larger build. But they're using these little minifigure, what do you call these? I know what they're called, but no, not barbells. Somebody help me. I know this one. I hate it when my words escape me. Um, Crowbars, minifigure crowbars. There we go. There we go. Okay. Here we go. So this goes like that. Aha! And then it goes in the... Okay, so the head, this is going to go this way. Yeah. Got to reposition the neck because the way that the head goes on is very important with this one. These minifigure posing pieces are so useful for all different types of things. So, all right. So So we do this, like so. Whoops, come on. All right, and now this goes in here. This goes in here. And this is such a creepy and cool little character, y'all. I love having the head like tilted out to the side. I love having the arms, if you call these arms, I guess, like reaching out in different ways. That like serrated blade type part is perfect. Right here and here. And then, yeah, those legs, just so creepy. Doesn't want to stand on its own because it's a little front heavy. Here's what it would look like on the stand. But we're going to jump to the other bug, and then we'll come back into these stands. So let's move on to the Hercules beetle. All right, friend. It's time for you to take your spot over by the butterfly. He's like, I'm too heavy to stand. I can't do it. It's okay. We'll just kind of put you here. You can be on the... I'm not actually using the keyboard right now, so it can be tapping away at the keyboard. Okay, Hercules beetle. This one is honestly probably the one I was most excited about because I just think they're stunningly beautiful bugs. Looks like a lot goes into the structure that it sits on. So the Hercules beetle begins in bag 4. And this says it is bags 3, 4, and 5. So yeah, it's basically 2 bags for this one. The beginning of bag 4 is the end of the base, and that is actually 2 mushrooms that are going to go on here. Yeah, I like this one too, Bev. I think that I really like this praying mantis character. So pretty sweet. Here, let me actually switch off my face forward cam so you can see this one a little bit better. But I think that's a very impressive... How do I do this? I'm like trying to block the back so that you can see the detail more. Maybe if I do this. There we go. Like really impressive details. Gosh, I am not good at this. There we go. Love those arms. It's just so interesting. And those little spindly legs on the back side are pretty cool as well. So nice. Good job, praying mantis. You can be right there. Okay, so like I said, the first part are the ends of the, just like we had these little leaves that were from the other base. This first part starts with some mushrooms that are blue, which is fun. They're actually this really pretty light blue, which is bright light blue is my favorite of the light blues. I think it's so pretty. So when I say the light blues, I mean like this has the light aqua, and etc. So okay, let's go. So we get... it'll be fun to add these on later, but we get some very thin little stems of these nice, delicate mushrooms. And then the mushroom caps are that beautiful blue color. I love that we're getting more of these like animal teeth or horn type pieces as well to create something totally different, which is fun. And then here we go with the build of the mushroom top. So it's pretty simple. We do this first, where we put one of those little mini axles in there, and then that is going to hold this in place, which is nice. From there, we will pop on the top cap part, but by putting that first part on first, it's going to allow this not to just like slide right off, because this doesn't have an axle hole in it, as you can see. And then we cover up the top, so you don't see that little red, with randomly an aqua dot. I'm guessing that they didn't have this dot available in that light bluish, that bright light blue color. And this works. I don't love it. I wish it were solid, but that's okay. And then that would connect, of course, onto our mushroom friend. So that is our slender little mushroom kind of that'll come out of the sidewall of the ground. That's cool. So let's do that again. One more time. Nice little build technique here. I want to go and look at the original submission for this and see if the person did bases that they stand on or if they just did the individual bugs. I can't remember. This is so long ago. But they definitely did a good design for sure. Isn't it a beautiful butterfly? I am so happy with it. I think it's so good. So let me bring it to where you can see it a little better. All right, there's the other mushroom. Now let's create, oh, and then there's also this that will be used to attach as well. But I think this will be the end of the base part. We'll see, I guess. I'm gonna put this here so that I don't forget about that piece. Okay, let's dive into our Hercules beetle. I'll come back here. Hi. All right. So yeah, thank you all so much for joining again. I really love and appreciate the support that I get from this community and the friendship that I get from y'all. It's really been such a joy. Such a joy. I know you could be spending your time in all different types of ways and with other people too. It means a lot to me that you choose to spend some of it with me. Actually, Mayo, I like the butterfly that came through in the emoji that you sent too. It's more like a monarch butterfly, which is so pretty. And I think a monarch would be really pretty to do in this type of style as well. So maybe that would be a fun mod idea, is to take this concept but modify it to be more like a monarch. I think they have very effective use of printed parts in this set too. I think they did a really good job nailing the details with that, and that just makes me very happy. Again, shout out to the Lego designers that do all of the graphic design work on these sets. They really play an important role in making sets look finished and polished and have the exact details that they want to ensure show up for people to actually experience it the way that they want to. So it's an underrated but very important job. And of the designers I've gotten to have a chance to chat with, I'm really impressed with the graphic designers that I've met. They've been really, really cool. So I like that Lego ensured that we got to spend some time with some graphic designers as well during Fan Media Days. That meant a lot and was really cool. It shows that they value that part of the design experience too. And as someone who initially wanted to go into graphic design, that was also something that I notice and appreciate for sure. I'm always on during work and doing things unless I have a meeting. I love that. Well, I'm glad that I can help make the workday hopefully a little bit more fun. So yeah, always happy to have you for sure. And yeah, and I'm so grateful that like through all of this, I've gotten to know y'all better. It's been really fun to connect. Like for those of you that I haven't met in person, it just makes me even that much more excited to get to meet in person sometime. So. All right, this will go here. Lots of brackets, lots of snot bricks in this. I also just realized I was very much in my head there for a minute and not with y'all. I was building alone for a second and thought, oh, wait, it's completely silent. um, I find that usually on Wednesdays, this comes at a time when like I'm really eager to spend some time with people and chat. And so this fills my bucket too at this time, which is a lot of fun. Just working from home, it's sometimes can be, especially independent types of work, can be a little lonely at times. So this has been a really fun, joyful part of the week for me. And I have y'all to thank for it. Just getting super sentimental. Um, for those who are in the build challenge and have been participating with that, um, what were some of your thoughts on the build prompt that we had this last time? Did you enjoy it? Was it one that challenged you in fun ways? Was it not fun? Did it inspire you with other builds? For me, I really enjoyed this prompt, and I felt like I want to give myself the challenge to do it again. Because what I made was a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed that, but it wasn't what I intended to make when I first came up with the idea for that build prompt. And so it made me want to try again, and just do something a little bit different. So we'll see. I don't have anything in mind right now, so I don't know that that would be anytime soon, perhaps. Um, but yeah, the other thing that I've been thinking about too is we're not at the place yet where I'll need to repeat any of the prompts. But there may come a time when we need to start doing some repetition of prompts. And so when we get to that point, maybe that'll give me the opportunity to build something new and different than I did last time. And maybe the same for y'all. So hopefully, whenever we get to that point, which I'm determined to at least get through a year with all brand new prompts before having to even cross that decision. But um, I want it to be something that's a continual positive experience for y'all and something where you're continuing to grow. So. All right, interesting core that we're getting here. It's like a really thick shape. Obviously, this is the largest body of all of these bugs that we have here. And uh, yeah, lots of those pieces that have they're like the curved pieces that have the chip out of them. So this one, quite a few, whoops, let me go up closer. Quite a few of that arch or curved slope that have the notch out of them. So, all right, so let's continue. Okay. All right, so it looks like some gold pieces here. All right, even more of those notched pieces here that create a little bit of the scale type feeling. Oh my gosh, it's actually I just got like a creepy feeling of like, oh my gosh, when you feel like bugs are on you, as I was putting these on, and that's because it really looks like the scaly type vibe of these types of beetles, which is actually really gross. But I'm liking how accurate this feels. So let's just hope that we don't get inundated with these types of bugs. I remember living in the South and having what we called palmetto bugs, which was a cute way of saying like disgusting roach, these like flying roaches. And they were enormous and gross and they flew and I hated them so much. And they would come every year like clockwork and were all over the place, which is just disgusting. Um, so, but they're really beautiful when they're not real. Let's see, here we go. Okay. So I don't know when we'll get to the head. We'll see. I don't think it'll be this part yet, but it might be that we start to. I'm not sure. So I'm okay with the Lego bugs as long as it's not a big spider. Ooh, that's fair. There was a really beautifully built big spider one though that has a retractable string that works to show like a web or whatnot, that Philip and I got. It was a 3-in-1 set, and it's actually really, really well built and a lot of fun. But it's super gross, and I don't love spiders in real life. I mean, I can handle bugs if I have to. I just really prefer not to. I think they're gross and don't like them. Um, but some bugs are worse than others for sure. I can't remember if I told you this, but last or 2 weeks ago when Philip was gone, I was outside with Penny, and we always clean up after her as soon as she goes to the bathroom. And so we have a little bin out there that we throw it away in. And I went to throw it away and got stung on the head by a wasp. And it's because my hair is purple, and I think the bug was like flying at my head and interested in the color because it was freshly done. And it was a scary moment for sure. It's like, oh no, not what I wanted to experience today. So those types of things, like that'll freak me out for sure. So thankfully I was okay, but emotionally I was not okay. Emotionally I was far from okay for sure. I'd asked Bev, and I think I saw you respond, but I didn't read the response yet about Brick Rodeo, so I'm going to need to scroll up and see what you said about what you're preparing. Let's see. Nope, we are done. I just have 3 plates left to pack. Good for you. I love that you're already at the packing stage. I am needing to start packing as well. I reached out to Hook and Eye, which is the company that I worked with on that really fun Wicked project, to ask about getting a dress form that I could use to showcase our artwork, our collaborative art together. Okay, that's cool. That's really cool. This will be the top of like the pincher of the mouth. This is going to be real big. But they have one that they can share, and they were really excited. So I'm super excited as well, and I need to actually open up the shipping box that we shipped the piece back to Austin in and just check on it and make any adjustments and fixes to it because I'm sure some things got disrupted in travel. I'm hoping that it's not completely fallen apart. It would freak me out, but I don't think so. It doesn't sound like it from the outside. But yeah, we got it home and put it in the guest bedroom and haven't touched it since. So I need to do that and then repack some of those things, and then I need to start packing all of my other builds. There's quite a few that I registered, probably too many, but they still let me, so that was nice of them. Um, and yeah, really excited for it though. It'll be lots of fun. So, and excited to see what everyone else brings. Philip is bringing our Heated Rivalry Lego habitats. So he just shared them at for the Habitat Challenge, which was a lot of fun. And it's a collaborative one because he and I did 3 of them together for Valentine's Habitats. And then he added more to it and adapted some things to it for the Pride Habitats. So I'm excited that those will be there. It's always fun to have just our fun stories that we share and things that we work on together, which I like. Um, but yeah, happy to have some of those and um, all of my builds from the Build Challenge this year, and some other things too. So, all right, this now is the bottom part. Okay, that looks really interesting. It has some nice kind of points and sharp things as well that work for the mouth underside of the pincher mouth, I guess. Whew, that's creepy. That's really cool. This actually would be good techniques for like lobster claws too, I suppose. All right, let's go to bag 5 and continue the body of this fella. Let's see. I have to pack them so I don't change the map. Okay, real smart. That's a really good point for sure. As a kid, I stepped on so many bees and got stung. Ooh, ouch. And the last 2 times I did Bricks and Brews, I changed up some things. Oh, fun! I'm excited to see what you changed up, because I don't think I've seen your builds since then. And or may not have seen them at all if you brought them to Bricks and Brews, but I'm guessing it's stuff that you also brought to the lug. I think I've been at all but one meeting this year. I missed the meeting when we were setting up for South by Southwest. It was on the exact same day, so it was kind of impossible to be in two places at once, but had a lot of fun. All right, okay, I'm loving lots of pieces in this beautiful light nugget color. That's nice. Yay, my granddaughter loves my fire pit as she should. It's so well done. It's really cute. I'm glad that you built it for the build challenge. That's fun. Um, Yeah, my hope is that in talking about the build challenge with people who are attending, that we'll get some more people to join, which will be a lot of fun. I mean, whenever Brick Rodeo is in Austin, it's always a great opportunity to invite people to join the lug. But you know, we always get people from around the globe coming in to display. And I like to connect those people with, you know, the build challenge and get them connected into our community too. So I'm hopeful that we get some new fun builders out of that as well who'd like to join in the fun. And if so, I expect you all to welcome them with open arms. Yay, enjoy your breakfast. Bye, friend. Thanks for joining. Added lights to my clock tower and then changed up some of the flowers. Nice. That's cool. Sounds like a lot of fun. I want to create a playlist out of some of the songs that we've been talking about for empowerment. Any other songs that you would add to it? Let's see. These legs are very Technic focused builds and interesting use of parts for sure. These are parts that like I have not played with much with mocks. And I think whomever went this route to create the legs, I'm not sure if that was the fan designer or if that was the Lego employees who worked on the design, but kudos to them because it's such great use of parts here. Technic works well for being capturing kind of the beauty and vibe of insects. Like so interesting. So yay. Yes, definitely enjoyed the build challenge. Awesome. I'm happy to hear it. Yeah, I was just curious on like did you find it to be challenging? Did you find it to be fun? And my hope was that everybody found it to at least be fun. I enjoyed it, but yeah, I went a totally different route than I think what I was expecting to do. And so that's made me want to do something more organic, like a nature type of organic. So we'll see. We will see what comes from that in the future. Okay, so we're gonna attach these weird legs. Um, And then we do two more legs after this. And then it looks like we do like the shell, if you will, or the shell and the wings of this Hercules beetle. Hercules, Hercules. Oops. Gotta twist that correctly. There we go. All right, there's some legs. Excited to see the next challenge prompt. Yes, I'm delayed in getting that to y'all. It's coming, I promise. I told myself to do it today and get that up and running. And it'll be actually, we're going to move this one to be at the end of the month because I want to give people plenty of time. And I know that leading up to Brick Rodeo, for me, is going to be a little bit tough, but also for others as well, potentially. So just want to make sure that people have the opportunity to participate in the challenge. So I want to get us back on track to where we're doing mid-month submissions because that was a request that someone had asked for early on. And I want to, you know, not conflict with other challenges that exist out there because there's so many great ones to do that I want y'all to have the opportunity to do multiple different types of challenges. But it's hard to go from, you know, this one I delayed a little bit as well to push back so that it could help people get involved. And then all of a sudden I realized, oh, that's going to make it hard to get us back on track because now we're off track. So we'll see. We'll get there. We will get there for sure. But But yes, so one is coming, I promise. And JJ's not going to be happy about it, but that's okay. So it's a build style that he's done a number of times recently. So or that JJ's done a number of times recently. Where's the part? Here we go. Here we go. Right. So we're getting close to being done with this guy. Okay, good. I'm glad that I went this approach because it's almost 4. And I like to try and get to a good finished place sometime between like 4 and 4:30 with these live streams, just to be respectful of your time and also of my own. Give me enough time to work on some other things like the build challenge. So, okay, we'll flip this over here. So these go in towards the front. So this is nice because it also gets some of the legs to be a little bit more inwards. They're not all positioned at the exact same space on the outside, if that makes sense. And they're bent a little bit up. Let's see. Oof, those are creepy, but that's fun. That's really fun. Let me move this here so you can see. All right, so now this is when it says to attach it to the base, which we're not doing because I didn't build the base. But we're going to move on to the rest of the body. So this piece I have from a Marvel set, but we're getting that in that light orange, or in the transparent orange, which is fun. And we're also getting some yellow orange. Wait, nope, transparent yellow rather parts as well. There we go. All right. And I think this is actually one of those situations where we could do the mirror image build process as well, because it looks like we're going to do this twice. So let me pull that back. I'm going to show you what I'm doing a little bit more from above. So I'll start to do the mirror image here. All right, so, oops. Okay, I think that goes there. There we go. Now I'm on track. Yeah, I want to get that feature set up where I can do music just so that when there's moments where I stop talking, that it's not just completely silent for y'all. And it's just nice to have something on in the background too. So I thought I had it set up and I didn't. So y'all have been so helpful with like not being judgy and being supportive of me, like figuring out all this stuff as we go. So there we go. There's the mirror image. And we get some brown and orange. All right, so now got those. Oof, this room is getting hotter and hotter as I continue on into the summer. And I have to tell you that it's not my favorite at all. I wish that our Texas heat was not quite this bad. But it is. It's this bad. It's terrible. I need to find the fan that we had in here. It was small. It was like one of those like tall, narrow ones. So good. Looking forward to the next challenge. Yay! Good, good, good. I'm happy to hear that you're looking forward to it. And yes, I will be getting the prompt out very soon. So it's coming. It's coming. It's coming. I promise. The other thing too is this time, since I was dealing with the the giveaway side of things, I just had a little bit of extra responsibility to handle on the end wrap up part of this one. So that won't happen every time, of course, and so that helps too. So, okay. Now we're going to flip this over. Let's see, this is the one I was building, so we'll flip it like this, which means I'll flip this one like this. And we will add more of these boat studs to connect the back. Like I said, these are great for ensuring that plates stay together and are very useful on the back. Similarly, these types of parts are really good for that as well. The inverted curved slope ones. Yeah, I like having more of these because it's helpful from a stability standpoint. All right, so they just go right along those seams. And they don't take up a lot of visual space with them being this like transparent orange color too, so that's good. All right, and then we have this. We're gonna stack 1, 2, 3 of these little studs with a hole in them and put this guy on. And then that is going to attach here to give us that fun little brown detail that kind of curves around the edge there. So when we look at it, that's what it's gonna look like on top. So that's cool. That's another nice part usage to create some interesting design on them. We'll do the same on the other side. All right, so now that we have this, got a little bit more to do. And this is also using more of those bar type pieces. So it's the stud that has the bar on them. And we angle them. And like I said earlier, that's such an interesting way to attach things that it adds some interesting angles that you can do and add stability in an interesting way as well. So definitely good parts to have in your build and good techniques to start to learn. And actually, that might be a fun technique for us to look into is like unique attachment points. I don't know how I would do a tutorial on that. It would have to be like just showing a bunch of different ones, but that could be a fun approach. So, all right, so this one is going to face the other way. So, because it's the mirror image, so we'll do that here. All right, I think, great. So now we're done with that. So we're going to take this one. We're going to attach it in here on the side, and it goes up and out. And then we're going to do this one over here on this side, and it goes up and out, which is interesting because I was thinking these brown parts were going to be actually facing outward, but they're actually on the inside curving out. So let me move that to where y'all can see it better. There we go. But yeah, that's interesting given that the head is kind of this orientation. All right, and now we're going to get to the end part where we attach the other large yellowish orange color pieces to finish it off. So another earworm that I get stuck in my head quite a bit is Rainbow Connection. I love the Sarah McLachlan version. That one I think is beautiful, but also I hear Kermit in my head when I hear it, which I also think is delightful and fun. I love that song. It feels nostalgic and cute and meaningful and is just so happy. So super fun. All right, this is probably another mirror image thing, but I'm just going to go with the instructions as they are. Okay, so this connects here. It's creating that beautiful shape. And then this now goes on top. So it's going to create a little bit of an opening, which is smart. So this adds stability, but it's still like open in the middle. So using those snot bricks is going to give us some stability. I'll put that there for y'all to see. This part is getting a little bit challenging to show you the build. Let me angle a little differently there. All right, let's see. Okay, so let's do the other side. Oh, we can attach this right away if we want. So this goes, right here. Oh, interesting. This is not where I was expecting it to go. Okay. Weird. Interesting. Okay. So I'm guessing this is like kind of posed in flight. I'm gonna have to look at that and see. And I'm wondering if there's a way to change the posing so that it's not in flight. I don't know for sure. I haven't looked ahead at this much. It's kind of creepier in flight to me because it feels a little bit more lifelike. So there's that, but you know, it's okay. A bug is a bug is a bug. And bugs are good for the world too, I suppose. They just creep me out sometimes. All right, there's that. And this seals that off, which is nice. It's a good way to kind of get solid color there. You can't see that at all. Essentially though, here, let me show you. This is the interior part, but then we cover that up with this. So you don't see all those different colors, which is good. Because no color is allowed. Must be boring. All right, this will go here. And then we'll finish it off with this piece. And now this one, again, it's open on the inside. This little clip can go on here. And go like so. Ta-da! Okay, great. So this can be opened a little bit. All right, so this is showing when it's in flight, it is opened up. Let me move me out of the way for y'all. Let's do just this camera. When it's in flight, it's like this. It's got the wings open and they're flying around. And when it's not in flight, which is probably how I will have this displayed, you pop these off. These go down. So, yeah, this is definitely how I'm going to have this displayed. I think it looks beautiful and just enough. I do love that there's the option to have the wings displayed, but truthfully, I don't want them displayed because I like this smooth shaping a little bit better too. I think that's a little prettier in general. And when I did that, it actually took off some of the sides, so I need to be careful with that too. But, oops, let's see, how did that go? Okay, that went like so. Yeah, I'm going to keep this closed because I just think it's a little bit nicer in look to have that closed. But yeah, that's really fun that you can have it kind of in flight and have kind of the different style with it as well. So yeah, so we have the Hercules beetle, not in flight right now, of course, but that's one of our friends. Really interesting vibe to it. Really interesting style. Then we have our fun little friend here, the praying mantis that has these super spindly legs. That's just perfect. And he's looking at his next meal. He's creepy to me. Really creepy. And then we have the beautiful butterfly, like so, which I'll just do this for y'all to see. It's so pretty. That's really gorgeous. And let's also take a look at what the instruction book says about the other two. So we read about the morph butterfly. Next up, we have the Chinese mantis. So that's this friend here, our little green friend. And it says, being named after a Greek hero famous for his strength gives a bug something to live up to. Over a 19 to 21-month period, the formidable Hercules beetle grows from egg to pupal stage and finally metamorphoses into one of the world's largest beetles. An adult male grows up to 7 inches long, including the horn, which he uses to body slam rival males. Wait, I'm reading about the Hercules beetle. Sorry, I'm reading about this one. That makes more sense. Anyway, which he uses to body slam rival males and impress the female objects of his affection. The impressively strong exoskeleton, so this part here, protects his wings, and the hard shell also comes in handy if he's knocked off a tree branch during battle. Native to the rainforests of Central South America, he scours the ground for rotting fruits, trees, and mushrooms, like the Clitosibula azurea in this model, which those would be these mushrooms for fun. All right. That was the Hercules beetle. Apologies. The Chinese mantis, on the other hand, perfectly color coordinated to camouflage to hide out among the Emenoteres henryi branches. Check. Lightning fast reflexes to strike down unsuspecting grasshoppers, ladybugs, and occasionally their own mates. Check. 5 eyes and a head that turns 180 degrees for optimal predator and prey detection. Check. Its 3 middle eyes mainly register light, while the bigger ones on each side register movement. The Chinese mantis has developed highly effective, protective, and deadly traits to thrive on several continents. One of its only natural enemies is actually the chameleon. Mainly found in Europe, North America, and Asia, mantises can range in size from 2 to 5 inches, with females typically a bit larger than males. So, there we have our 3 friends. I think I'm going to continue our stream and build out the bases, but I'm glad that I got through all 3 of the builds. That was fun. Thanks for joining for that. Let's dive into the build for the Hercules beetle, since we have it out already. So that's going to be bag 3. So we're down to 2 bags left, bags 3 and bag 6. And I'm going to move our butterfly friend back here, so you can see him in the background, kind of. And the mantis friend will be beside him. That way we've got some room to work on the base for this friend. All right. I was debating ending the stream here, but I want to finish these. It feels unfinished to me. So if y'all are down for it, let's go. Let's go. Okay. So I think the beginning of the base is going to be the exact same as the last one, which is probably the same for the other one as well. In this one, we're getting some really fun parts, including, which I've seen these in other sets before, but white croissants. I've seen them used as Santa's beard in a 24-in-1 set that Lego came out with, which was a lot of fun. So, hi, I'm back. Okay. Let's get going. Let's get down to business. Let's get down to business to defeat the Huns. That's another example of a earworm that randomly gets stuck in my head. I'm like, why that? It's so random. I love, 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 and adore, which lots of queer people do, the song Reflection from that movie. It was such a vibe at the time that I was coming out. Not even coming out, that I was really coming to understand who I am, and was really afraid to come out at the time. And so that song I found to be so meaningful to me because it matched how I was feeling, and connected with what I wanted to express, but just at the time could not express. So there's that brown piece. Here we go. All right. So yeah, all the bases, it looks like, use this exact same technique for the start, which, makes them all display well together. I think this set will display incredibly beautifully well by the geodes. And I love that both of those came about as a result of Lego ideas. That's really fun. I think if I had the ability to have a like fancy office in this house that was separate from this one, I would love to display the insects collection, some of the botanicals, the geodes, the typewriter, um, the globe, the spinning globe one, the ship in a bottle, the pop-up book on the bookshelf. Um, those would all just be such perfect additions to a very like classy upscale office type style. And it'd be fun to like make it like a science exploration type place too, and just have all different types of things like magnifying glasses and world maps and all kinds of fun. I just think that would be a really fun way to style a room. We have way too many things, way too many sets to be able to do that in such a classy way, but I love that idea and that vibe. And maybe, just maybe, I will get around to changing up this room someday to have that feel to it for maybe just for a season. That'd be kind of fun. So, um, I've actually thought about doing a series of like, here's different ways to style your Lego sets and showing off different bookshelves that we have and how we trade them up throughout the year because that's a big part of how we enjoy this hobby. Philip and I love home decorating and decorating for holidays and events and things, and so maybe that's something I'll still lean into a little bit. So I think that'd be a lot of fun. All right. So getting this black trim around before we start on with the green and tan bases. Lots of this sand green color, which is nice. There were some in that other base too that we had. So love that we're getting more of that. Okay. And then we'll start over here with that first layer. Laying some of these down to add some additional color. There we go. All right. And I like that this part of it is less mirror image style, but more organic because that's more of what you would see in nature, right? I think that's one challenge that I think people often have when they start to do floral or landscaping details is ending up making things too symmetrical, and it just looks a little too unrealistic because nature is not symmetrical, right? And that's something where I'm not saying that as a criticism of anybody in particular. I'm saying it actually just of the challenge of doing landscaping and stuff. That if you're not careful, it can end up looking too much of the same or so incredibly different that it's like it's not realistic that all of that would exist together either. So landscaping is not my strong suit, mostly because I don't really build minifig scale all that often unless I'm building sets. And so this is such an awesome experience to get to build a set that is a brick built set, but that uses really interesting parts for landscaping detail. Are there builders out there that you think do an incredible job with this type of stuff that should be on our radar when you think about organic bases, when you think about landscaping details and structure? Like, who have we not seen that we need to just like put in our feeds to pay attention to and to learn from? Let's give some shout outs, shall we? Oh, I'm just letting that one go to voicemail. All right. This is actually many more parts for this base than I was expecting to see. But it has to be a heftier base because that beetle is really large. And so you need something that it can stand on and still looks good on its own and still has its own kind of placement and such, but that is going to really live up to um, showcasing the beetle in the way that it needs to. This would be a tough challenge as a designer to do something where you're not building it so much and so intensely that it ends up overpowering your actual build that you're looking for. And so I think that's something to applaud for the Lego designers who work on this. And like I said, I need to look at the original fan designer too and just see what did they initially include in this. Okay, I'm not sure what these are for, but I love it. And it doesn't say in the instructions what they're for. So I'm very curious why we have these fun white croissants in here. Does anybody know? Usually when there's something like that, that's like a fun hidden reference, or not usually, but often when there's those hidden references, we'll get some kind of descriptor in the instruction book, but we don't have that here. So I'm very curious as to what that's all about. All right, so we're also getting these in this regular green color, which is a nice color to have for these fabrics. So I like that. I really find a lot of use in these parts. And I think part of it too is like when you think about what types of build styles come naturally to you and what types of parts you've used quite a bit, I think arguably a lot of that comes from what types of sets you build and maybe what types of mock challenges you've participated in. And so this actually makes me want to continue to diversify my own experiences with building because I'll find that I'm apt to look for specific parts and specific sets that I want to continue to add to my collection. And I think sometimes that can also be a limiting factor where you're not challenging yourself to use something that you aren't as familiar with. So I think that was actually part of the fun about being on Lego Masters was we were limited to what they had in the brick pit. And the brick pit wasn't completely full of every single part imaginable. It was very full, but that was part of the challenge was using parts that maybe you're not used to building with your mocks. There are some very specific parts. Someone did ask me once, like, were there any parts not in the brick pit that you really thought should be there? And I don't know that should be is the right answer, but I will say there are certain parts that I grew used to using specifically with regards to doing some like curved and finishing details and such that didn't exist in the brick pit because they're not that practical for lots of things. They're just practical for like one or two uses, maybe. Which makes sense that they wouldn't stock them in the brick pit, you know. But that did prove to be a limiting factor. So, I think one thing that I want to continue to challenge myself on is how do I use parts that I haven't really made use of a lot lately, and what can I do to further diversify my experience with building? So, are there any parts that you feel intimidated by, or like you look at and you're like, nope, I'm never going to use that, or it's just not something I've used a lot before? I'm curious. The things that I tend to recognize as like, oh, wow, that's excellent NPU would be things that are often parts that I never thought to use in those ways. I would say a lot of Technic parts in general, I don't use from a visual standpoint because I think of them more for stability. So, oh, I love that approach. Maybe they're grubs. Yeah, that could totally be it. Maybe these are the grubs. It makes me think of Pumbaa and Timon when I hear the word grubs. Got any antelope? Oh my gosh, that is a throwback movie for sure. That was one that I thought was interesting when they did the live action because so much of the live action was not live. And I'm feeling similarly about Moana that like so much of it is going to have to be CGI. And I don't know what another phrasing would be for that because it still is using live actors for it. But I can't think of another way to say that when, you know, a lot of it is still animated in some way. So it is different than like completely CGI, you know. When we look at movies like Lightyear as an example, that's completely CGI. It's not live action, right? But, oh, I did something wrong. I jumped ahead and looked at the picture before actually doing what I was supposed to be doing. Shoot, 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 shoot. Okay, let's try this again. Oh no. This is also where I'm hitting that point where I'm like, hurry, 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 and I don't need to hurry. I'm on my own timetable, I guess. But yeah, I'm feeling like I'm rushing myself. And when I rush, I make mistakes. That is life, for sure. That's a lesson for all of us, right? Okay, there we go. We are fixed. We are not. I did something wrong again. Just a moment. There we go. Okay, there we are. Everything is fixed. All right. So yeah, lots and lots of snot brick use here. Great parts if people wanted to part this out. And given what Sean was saying about doing a really fun way of displaying this uniquely, where you're displaying them as like the flat bugs in a like they would be in a museum or something, that would give you all of these parts back, or a lot of these parts back. So these could be really wonderful parts for other types of mock builds for sure. So yeah. Okay, and then these pieces kind of provide the final shaping that we have here. Let's see, is that the right one? Nope. I always get these notched pieces confused with the one side or the other. It's hard for me to get that right. Um, and it's almost every single time I'm building with them. I second guess myself, I pick up the wrong one, and then I inevitably go through and lay them all out to figure out which one's left, which one's right, and double and triple check. And it's just something with my brain. It doesn't want to see them the way that they're supposed to be. Okay, so I think, is that right? That is right. Okay, cool. And then now I use the other direction. There we go. They're very useful. I think they create a really nice, sleek finishing look for things, but yeah, I tend to mess. Something's wrong here. Something isn't matching up. Let me double check this. Oh, I see. I think I had that too high. There we go. Much better. Okay, cool. I was confused because this hole is still there, but that's how it's meant to be. Okay, let's continue. Let's continue. All right. Now we'll get to the other side, and on the other side, It's not using those notch pieces as much, so less to worry about there. Um, just using these interesting ones that are like almost look like fur at different times. Like it gives lots of different vibes for sure. But is that right? Nope, I did that wrong. Oh no. Okay, let me flip it and reverse it. There we go. And I'll rebuild that because I accidentally took it all apart. I don't know what a lot of the parts are for. When I'm picking out parts at BAM, I have different ideas for the parts. I used support things as windows because I thought it looked cool. I love that. And I think too that that's where like one of the things I really value about building with people who haven't spent a lot of time with Lego is they look at parts and see something in a completely different way than I do. And that's awesome. It creates a different approach to building. It gives us a new idea of something that we could do with something that we weren't expecting to use that way, right? And it teaches us all something new. So I love getting to see Lego through the eyes of someone who is newer to building or just doesn't do as many sets as I do or something, you know? I think that's always a lot of fun. All right, there we go. So that's going to cover up that extra hole. So this is going to be a very tough, kind of rocky facade for this, but in such a good way. All right, we're getting close to being done with this guy, and then we'll move over to the last stand of the last friend. I knew this set was a little bit more throwback than a lot of the other sets I've been doing recently because I've been doing a lot more of the review sets and such. And I was hopeful that y'all would still enjoy it because for me, this is immensely satisfying and so much fun to get to do with y'all. So thank you for being here. All right. Oh, yep, here we are back again with these weird pieces with the clips that we need to do in the right order. Okay, and then more of these, like furry type ones. Let's see, okay. That goes there, and that goes there. Those are there. Okay, I think I'm all caught up here. All right, can do that. I'm gonna do this. Okay, so here we go. This is all the large section now of what we're building off of. It's really odd shaped, which again is really cool because it's organically shaped in such a way that I don't normally build. Honestly, one of the hardest builds that I ever did was my trans geode that I did to support International Day. Which one was it? Trans Visibility Day, I think, was the one that I was doing it for. But it was so different of a build style for me. And I was trying to make basically a geode, and well, I was trying to make a geode, and was trying to make the shaping correct and organic, but still the right vibe and everything. And I look at it now, and there's definitely ways I would improve on it for sure. And I've thought about rebuilding it and redesigning it. But there's something kind of satisfying about like it being imperfect for me as well. I think, one way to look at that is, I don't know, if I were to riff on the idea of it being imperfect, we could talk about how allyship can be imperfect and how we can show up and do our best, but not always do the right thing, and how we need to be open to learning and growing and moving forward. So maybe that's a lesson that I have from that. It's a fun build though, and it was something that was a really interesting and neat challenge to take on. So. I'm glad that I still have that one. And it's one that was really important to me and was really meaningful for me. So I'm glad that it exists. Okay, so interesting and weird shape. It's almost like similar shaping to our friend here, right? With like this here. This clip is going to go and cover up these little white bits. So even if that's grub, it is not going to find that grub because it's all hidden, which is really, really super random. I'm guessing that's grub because grub hides under rocks. So that makes a lot of sense. Now we'll flip forward. We will add in our nice little mushroom friends here and here. So this one clips in like so. And then this one clips in, let's see, here, like so. All right, so we have those here. And then we have this piece that goes in here. And this connects through these holes to hold it in place. So that gives that little rounded bit, that curved bit that this is going to connect onto. That is so cool. Okay, so now we'll jump ahead to where this attaches to the build. I think it was right after we did the legs. It is. So this is showing, I'm guessing these pieces here are going to attach right there. So do that. Yay! All right. Okay, we did it, y'all. Let me turn this off and I'll show you. So one more done. If we go straight to this camera only, here is our base for our beetle. It's really, really nice and sleek. If I hold this up, you can see it a little bit better. Let me do maybe two of them together. There we go. So yeah, that's really, really nice. And then these can lift up and out. And when we do, we can attach the wings back on. Let me do that under here. And then do that under here. All right. Now let me show you again what it looks like with the wings out. This is actually pretty cool. Now I'm debating which way I want it. But that's with the wings out. That's cool. All right, so there's one. Here's two. Our butterfly, which we already saw. But I'll show you again. Just tilt that up a little bit more. There we go. So here's the butterfly. Let's see. Go that way. There we go. Really pretty. And then we have that little bee down there. This is cool. Here's the rest of it. Less exciting on the underside, but that's okay. It's meant to be seen on the side, of course. Okay, now let's do the base for our last one, our mantis friend. And then we'll call it a day. Okay. So we'll put these two back here. We'll bring our mantis friend up front and center. Let's do that. Let me also angle this down a little bit more so you can see the build table. And then I'll come back into frame. Hello. Okay, let's do it. Hop to it. Last bit, it's 4:30. We can make it, y'all. We can make it. We're going to start with a base that's just like the other bases. And because I know it is, I'm going to hold off on opening that bag until I get through the black portions of this, because there's no need to clutter up the little build space in here. Let me just double check, but I'm sure, yeah, the base is the same. So let's dive into the base. All right, this is a set though that I, based on this experience today, would definitely recommend. I don't remember the price point, but I remember it being decent, given what we know about Lego pricing. So, all things considered, we have to recognize first and foremost that Lego is expensive. So that's just a real truth, right? But I think that this price-wise is a decent price. I also think that that's partially true because they didn't have to go with like IP um, tax that gets added on for a set like this because there's no IP connected to it, which is great. And that also means that the parts show up in Pick-a-Brick, which is really fun. That's something that I love when IP sets or when sets have cool prints and such that end up in Pick-a-Brick. So yeah. So these hexagonal, I think that's how you'd say that. These hexagonal bases are really nice and do the trick, I think, pretty well. And then they end up being packed with a lot of punch with the way that these floral bits kind of show up here and there. So I'm a fan for sure. All right, now we'll do these. It gets to be a little redundant, but also the way that you build this, if you weren't doing my weird way, is you wouldn't build two bases back to back. And you might even like do one bug a night, you wouldn't have to do it all in one sitting. So I just like to finish things when I can because we have plenty of sets that we're working on that are still in progress that I just need to knock out. So whenever I get a chance to actually complete a set all the way in a sitting, I like to. I've been working on the Moana builds. The Kakamora are super cute, which I showed y'all previously. And I got through part of Pua, which is fun. I've been watching Moana as I've been doing them and was kind of just doing time lapse to see like how far does it take me through the movie to get through each. And honestly, I think if I had done Pua starting at the beginning of the movie, I would have finished it by the end of the movie. But because I also did the Kakamora first, that did not happen. And that is okay. So now I need to watch Moana 2, finish Pua, and then share with y'all kind of the end results, which is fun. So, but they're beautiful builds. They're really, really nice. And since I was deciding to do that through like a time-lapse approach, it also means that like the living room is set up in a certain way for it. So I kind of want to get back to being able to use our living room again. So I want to undo how things are set up in there. But I need to finish this first. So that's another thing that's on my long to-do list. Okay, I need to open this bag now. But that was helpful to not have both of the small bits bags open at the same time. So I'm glad I did it that way first. All right, so this one has a lot of eggshell pieces, which is interesting. Those will be used for some flowers, some little detailed flowers here and there. Right. So I'd asked about like, what are some songs that you play to get you amped or whatever. Are there, another question for y'all would be, are there any shows or movies or songs or, what do you like to have on, if anything, when you're building? Are you someone who likes to build with extra noise and extra activity, or someone who prefers to have it a little bit more calm? Philip and I watch a lot of the movies that are connected to the builds as we build them because we really enjoy doing that, and it's a big way that we also enjoy life together. So, that's part of the fun of it too. But that also means that the experience building each set becomes a little bit different because while the experience is similar in that we're watching a movie, the vibe of the movie affects the experience a lot. So, but I really enjoy doing that with him. It's a lot of fun. All right. Fun like floral based things. You build while the TV is on. Nice. I like that. Yeah, we often have the TV on in general, I'll say. So I think that would have been true anyway, but yeah, we definitely build with the TV on. I've been building a lot with soccer in the background lately, or football, if you want to call it the real name. And that's been loads of fun because we've had moments where I stop building altogether to watch a moment and cheer and celebrate. And yeah, that's been great. So the World Cup has added so much fun. All right, y'all, here is the final print that we get in this, which I know y'all have seen before. But this set was the first set to introduce this printed ladybug. Come on. Come on, Zoom. There we go. I think it's zoomed now. Yeah, it's a great little print, and there are two that are hiding in here, which means there's a third one as well, I believe. There's almost always an extra, if not two extra. And I think in the descriptor of our praying mantis, we learned that they eat these little fellas. So, sorry to send you to your death. This is a more slender base, which also makes sense because it's for a more slender character, with it being this, delicate praying mantis. And then it has those really large plant leaves that we saw earlier when we were building out the mantis. All right, this is another part that I think is fantastic in this set. So these 1x1 axle hole bricks in sand green. I love that. We actually got it in sand green in the typewriter set as well. And so, I know it's been in a number of other sets too, but it's a good one to have for sure. Let's see. All right, so now we're getting some of these inverted curved pieces that I talked about being good for stability. So we're getting them in dark tan, and that's for the little kind of branch type thing that our friend is going to be standing on. Oops, and I put it in the wrong place. Let me redo that. There we go. Oh, another earworm is True Colors, Cyndi Lauper. And mostly because Philip and I have a Pride playlist that's all queer and trans artists that we listen to, and that one's been covered many times, so I'm sure that's part of it. As well as Freedom by George Michael has been covered a number of times too. So those become earworms just on the basis of like hearing them often. So plus, then there's movies like Trolls that then brings songs like True Colors back into people's playlists, and you heard it all the time when those movies were out. So those were super cute movies. Those were fun. I love any good movie that it's basically a musical. All right, y'all, it's getting real hot in here. I'm gonna need to. Once I'm done here, I'm gonna need to wrap this up for sure and take a break because my goodness, it's getting hot. And I think before next week's live, I'm going to need to get myself the fan back in this room because it's getting brutal. It's brutal out there. In the words of our dear friend Olivia Rodrigo. Hmm. Ooh, are any of y'all excited about those sets? What are y'all's thoughts on them? I think they're going to be so much fun. I know we talked kind of briefly at the beginning of our stream today about it, but I am excited. I think they did a great job capturing her essence in the minifigures, and the each one I think is a fun build style from what it looks like. So I'm looking forward to them. I hope uh, that they do well because I would like to see lots of other musicians get that type of treatment. All right, getting closer. This is fun. This has been a really nice set. I'm pleased with it for sure. Good job, Lego. All right, lots of cheese wedges in this. Okay, so we're using these pieces that are like the A-shaped plates to put it at an angle, which will be nice. And there's two of them, one on the left and one on the right, that are definitely going to be good for stability. Wait a minute. Oops. Oh, shoot. I got one of those. Shoot. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Oh, no, okay, got it. I got one of those pieces with the notches in them put in the wrong spot, and I actually find them very hard to reposition as well. So, but I was able to get it up, which is good. Okay, here's the other side. We're using that A-shape type piece as well, so it gives us that nice angle. Go over here and put them together. All right. This is done. I'm going to cover that up with a little bit more detail to minimize some of the ways it all attaches and make it look a little bit cleaner. And then just a few more parts. Thanks for sticking with me, y'all. All right, so now that this is ready, we're going to attach it over here. And it looks like it goes right there. There we go. Okay, so here's the stand. Which other singer would you like to see turned into a minifig? I love that question. And I asked as well for others' opinions as well. I think it would be wonderful. Well, Philip said Elton John, which I first and foremost was like, absolutely, that would be amazing. I would love to see that. I would love to see Lady Gaga. I would love to see Taylor Swift. I think Chapel Roan would be super fun, but also we've seen some of those in Fortnite, so like part of me is like, am I just saying these because I saw Chapel in Fortnite? So I think maybe that's part of where it's coming. Oh, there's another ladybug. So I think we're getting 4 total in this set because of the extra one. Um, I would love to see Kelly Clarkson. I think she would actually do pretty well because she does have a big fan base over multiple decades. Sarah Bareilles is one of my all-time favorites of all time. I don't think that she'll ever get one, but I think she would be fabulous to have too. So I know I've made my own versions of Kelly Clarkson and of Sarah Bareilles before, and Taylor Swift actually. I think I've done all of those. So that's also where it's fun that there's these official sets that have them, but also people mock these up all the time, you know? So, like, we don't necessarily need to have an official set to do the mock. which is fun. So how about you? Did you have any in mind? I think you might have responded, but I can't remember if you responded on Insta. I meant to share those answers today, actually. I hope they're still in my stories. Oh, I think you did respond, and I think you said Ed Sheeran. And if that wasn't you, whoever said that, I agree with as well. I think he has a lot of cultural relevance for a lot of people globally. And so he's an artist that I think could easily get that treatment for sure. The Beatles, which actually we've seen the Beatles already. So who am I kidding? I forgot about that. All right, here's a nice little branch that we're getting. And I think this branch is going to have some of those little white flower bits on it. So that'll be cool to see for the finishing details of our praying mantis friend. We're almost there, y'all. All right. So yeah, so we're getting some little lime green bits here and there. This is going to attach on here, going out to the side, like so. There we go. It's giving us, let's see, let me zoom this up for y'all a little bit. It's giving us that top portion, which is good. Yeah, Ed Sheeran. Oh, Shakira and J-Lo. Yes. Yes, I made Christmas Mariah. I forgot about that. Which you did too. And I loved your approach of having her in the glass, which I thought was just too fun. Too fun, for sure. Okay, so for this final bit, we are getting these buds that have these yellow and white flowers that were talked about in the little descriptor of the set, but it's using this egg piece and then using these yellow floral bud pieces on the inside. So it's that light yellow color rather. But there's 3 of them. Dun, 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 dun. So almost done. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I say 3 because there's 3 things of 3 flowers each, and 2 of the 3 flowers on each are these yellow and white bits, and then 1 is lime. So here's one finished guy, real pretty, and then we'll attach the other 2. So here's 2. Oh, another tip that I found with making organic trees and plants is from Lego. So I used to think that every branch had to be built differently in order for it to look organic, but they've done a great job of having some of the attachment points be a little bit unique and different, but using the same type of approach with putting the flowers and trees and such on. And that then results in a more organic look by trying less about making it organic. And I just thought that was so smart to do and just so different than what I was picturing with it. So it showed me that I was way overthinking how I build trees and bushes and shrubs and stuff. Okay, so here we go. It's nice and pretty and sweet. And then we add on these 2 enormous leaves. One goes in here, like so. Maybe. There we go. And then the other one goes in here, like so. All right, so that adds a little heft to it. And then we zoom ahead to where our friend connects to the base. And he connects right there. All right, so here we can have, ooh, he's creepy. He's real creepy. Okay, this is fun. This is real fun. So we can rotate his legs to have them bend kind of the way that they want to bend a little bit more. This one, let's have that one go out a little bit more. Ugh. He is so creepy and I love him. Oh my gosh, this is fun. Bonnie Raitt. Okay, that'd be fun. Bev, I love that. I want you to do a mock with Bonnie Raitt. That'd be really cool. All right, let's show you our final one. Let's get these here. Let me move myself out of the way for y'all. Ta-da! I'm going to angle this down a little bit more. All right, here is our final base. Looks so good, y'all. So good. All right, and we are at 4:54 p.m. So we had a nice long stream today. There's that guy, this one, and this one. These are so beautiful together, y'all. Let me disappear for a moment so you can see that butterfly in all its glory. What a nice trio. This is such a great set. I'm really, really pleased with it. I think my favorite display is probably the butterfly. I just think it's so peaceful and nice. So that one to me is the nicest, but I love this beetle best in terms of the brick-built animals. And the one that I find the creepiest, but still really cool, is our praying mantis friend. So nice job, Lego. Thank you so much for this set. I'm so glad I got to review this one and have a lot of fun with y'all. And thanks everyone for joining. This was a really good time. I really appreciate y'all engaging in the chat, hanging out, having fun, and just being good, supportive humans. So thank you for the support all throughout Pride Month. And yeah, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your week. I'll be back again on Monday for our next live stream for Lego Masters, this time for our the oh my goodness, the mask challenge, the masquerade challenge, which will be lots of fun. And then again, I'll be back later in the week. All right, build kindness. Thanks, y'all. Bye.